Young Do Chol stood in front of Hyun Sung with his arms crossed, instructing him that he needs physical strength to do anything, especially when using his physical body. I mean, if he just threw a few punches. Already feeling tired, no matter how good your skills are, it's useless. He started training you, jumping rope, running around, lifting weights, moving your body to avoid. Young Do Chol added that if you find it too difficult, try to endure like last time. And if you give up halfway, I won't teach you anything more. 2 hours a day, endure for 2 hours. Hyun Sung is tired and sitting on the ground panting. I have to do it. Your body is sweating continuously. If Shin Yun Min wants to subdue a bastard like him who has been training for many years, I having to endure this kind of physical training at all costs. Hyun Sung's body was trembling. Moreover, Shin Yun Min was not his final target. If he wanted to drag the golden crickles later, his back is out. I will have to defeat everyone who is even stronger than Shin Yun Min. Young Do Chol looked at Hyun Sung in admiration. He really endured for 2 hours. What a brat, tenacious. He observed Hyun Sung, even though it was only for 2 hours. Every second of it pushed him to the limit. This kid has potential. Should I try that training method? Young Do Chol stood in front of Hyun Sung. Ever since I was banned from entering the octagon, I have researched training methods to become the strongest. Thanks to that, even if my career, no matter how it ends, my student can still see the light. From now on I will apply my research results to your training. The image of a strong Hyun Sung appears in Young Do Chol's mind. He pointed his finger at him. If he could keep up with it, he would become so strong that no matter who he was would have to kneel. A week later, it was raining outside, and Hyun Sung was sitting diligently in the classroom writing an assignment. Suddenly someone came and sat in front of Hyun Sung. Kim Si-woo sat in front of him and said, I don't think this is right. It's too much. Where are you? Didn't do anything wrong. He looked steadily at Hyun Sung. Kim Si-woo, first-year students at Bright Prospects High School. Hyun Sung suddenly raised his head to look at him. Kim Si-woo started scratching his head and smiling foolishly, saying, well, you've changed a lot from what I remember, so it's a bit difficult to tell you this, but I don't want to be on the same side as those who ostracized you. Hearing that, Hyun Sung suddenly asked, what? Kim Si-woo kept saying, so let's make friends. But Hyun Sung still said in bewilderment, what do you mean, boycott me? Kim Si-woo also suddenly looked at him confused. Hey, don't you know anything? Hyun Sung said seriously, no, tell me. Si-woo also said honestly, wow, you really don't know. It's Park Jin-woo go around the classrooms to threaten the first-year students. Si-woo reported what Jinwoo said. He said he would kill anyone who dared to get close to him. Hyun Sung asked in confusion, so why did you come to see me? Si-woo clenched his hand. Hey, how can you say that? He looked straight into Hyun Sung's eyes and said, we have known each other since elementary school. Well, it's been almost a decade. No joke. Even if I was beaten to death, I still couldn't boycott my friends. Then Hyun Sung remembered. I almost forgot about what kind of person Kim Si-woo was. When he saw Hyun Sung being beaten, Si-woo appeared and shouted to protect him. Damn bastard. That's enough. In my previous life, after Kim Si-woo found out I was being bullied, he protected me, and in for a while I escaped from Park Min-chol's group. Then they changed their target and started bullying Kim Si-woo. Hyun Sung saw Si-woo on the street with a crutch in his hand. He coldly walked past him. After he was beaten until one leg was broken, he started pretending he didn't know me. When Hyun Sung was lying in the hospital bed, Si-woo came to visit, and one day when I was still in the hospital bed, he was sad. I'm sorry. If I had protected you to the end, this wouldn't have happened. I was so scared. You came out and saw Hyun Sung with his face down crying. I couldn't accept the fact that I was beaten during every break. I thought I was so brave. But when I was actually in a situation, I couldn't do anything in that scene. If there is a next life, I will never leave you alone. Hyun Sung grabbed the arm that was placed on his shoulder. Don't. Si-woo also asked in confusion. What? Hyun Sung glared angrily. Don't act like we're so close. He continued in Si-woo's surprise, and his arms tightened more and more. He stopped talking and just followed the others. Otherwise, I can take care of this myself, so don't stick your nose in. Si-woo said angrily. Don't you know how serious this is? Said Si-woo stood up. Break time is over, let's talk again tomorrow. Before leaving, Si-woo turned to look at Hyun Sung. But remember, I will do what I want. I won't leave you alone. Wait for me, we'll be back after break time. Hyun-sung thought blankly, in the fight with the golden crickle. I don't know what wound or pain it will bring. He thought firmly, so I can't let him, I can't participate in this case. It will only bring him unhappiness like before. All my relationships outside of family, whether good or bad, should be cut off. Outside the school, it's getting worse and worse. Hyun-sung thought, I can't abandon my family, but I shouldn't let others get involved in this war. The teacher's voice rang out. Don't forget to do some homework. Hyun-sung took the notebook because he needed to think about what to say if Siwoo came back. The rain hasn't stopped yet and time is still passing. Hyun-sung looked at the clock and thought. He said he would come back. But it's still, I haven't given up yet. It's good I don't have to convince him anymore. Behind me came the sound of gossip. Poor Siwoo. He's really unlucky. Those two people looked towards Hyun-sung and talked. You mean Kim Siwoo? What's going on? I saw Park Jinwoo talking to him. Should we tell the teacher? So what if he retaliates? Let's just say we don't know anything. Anyway, he didn't kill Kim Siwoo or anything. These words made Hyun-sung feel scared. His eyes widened. In the sound of thunder and lightning, he immediately rushed out of the classroom. At this time, Jinwoo's group was dragging Siwoo to the bathroom. He said with a black face, Hey Kim Siwoo, I warned everyone, don't go around with Kim Hyun-sung. He glared at his veins. At first, there was thunder and lightning outside, making the scene even more scary. Didn't you hear that? Or have you lost your fear nerve? Not only was Siwoo not afraid, but he also slowly walked towards Jinwoo. You are who's to say if I can get along or not? And I don't know why you bully Hyun-sung, but Hyun-sung is my friend, so. Siwoo glared with murderous intent, spoke harshly, stopped several times. Game then gather around and jump up. Damn it. Jinwoo looked disdainful. He was angry because he was provoked. Look at that. Before he could finish his sentence, Siwoo kicked him, causing him pain. Jinwoo didn't have time to react. Flying into the air, the wall behind him, groaning in pain. His accomplices stood around looking at Jinwoo worriedly. Jinwoo, are you okay? His blood was rushing to his brain right now. He only knew humiliation. Damn it, so humiliating. Shout loudly, you idiots. What the hell are you looking at? Jinwoo bitterly shouted an order. Beat that guy up. All the juniors following him started to surround Siwoo. They also started to attack. A guy behind Siwoo tried to sneak attack him. Siwoo immediately noticed. He kicked him back, causing him pain. This time another guy in front of him started to attack again. The bastard. Siwoo also immediately reacted, forming a fist with his hand, hitting him directly in the temple. On the other side, the other guy started to rush up again. In his mind thought, Hyun-sung would be very angry. One of them hit Siwoo straight in the face. He fell to the side. Still thinking, he left to avoid this happening. But I got caught up in it again. Siwoo quickly regained his balance and started making fists. But why did I pretend not to see? He was just a bit extreme. Hyun-sung punched the other guy in the face, sending him flying away, screaming in pain. He was always like that no matter when. Siwoo angrily touched the wound on his face. He thought, but you're always my friend, so I will never abandon you. When Siwoo was planning to attack another guy, a long foot stepped on him. Are you joking with me? Siwoo looked painfully at Jinwoo's tall body in front of. He glared and asked, have you practiced taekwondo? Jinwoo cruelly punched Siwoo's chin with a strong hook. Siwoo began to stagger, and Jinwoo continued raising his hand. He said contemptuously, there are always guys like you, who think they are very talented, just because they learned a little martial arts. He threw a punch that sent Siwoo flying away. You should restrain yourself. I will kill you, you son of a bitch. Jinwoo repeatedly hit Siwoo's face. Listen, I know your life. From today, I will treat you as Kim Hyun-sung's friend. The other guys heard that and smiled with satisfaction. You idiot, look at him. Siwoo was beaten until his face turned black, and turned his school life into hell. The more he spoke, the angrier he became, putting his hand in Siwoo's face continuously in the morning, during break time, at noon, and even after school. I will always look for you. So remember to prepare and eat. At that moment, Hyun-sung kicked the door and walked in. He shouted, what are you guys doing? The voice said. This attracted Jinwoo. He turned his head to look at. Hyun-sung glared and walked towards him. You. Jinwoo stood up, threw Sewoo's head aside. I was wondering who came here. Why are you? What do you want to say? Hyun-sung looked at the scene before him and thought. Park Jinwoo, I plan to deal with him soon. This is my chance. He is on a different level than me. So I can't win against him without him. Strategy from before. To be able to win against him, I have to provoke him. Thinking so, Hyun-sung put his hands in his pockets. Arrogantly said, yes, I have something to say. The kids said you beat them. Right? Hyun-sung said provocative words. You know, it sounds funny. They were beaten by a stupid fat guy who only knows how to depend on weight and size. Jinwoo listened, then he clenched his teeth in anger. The veins on his head were constantly bulging. What did you say? Hyun-sung confidently smiled and said, why did you only win against Kim Siwoo thanks to your accomplices? Am I wrong? Jinwoo glared. Angry eyes. Blood in his eyes clearly appeared. Hyun-sung's purpose was, I will force him to fight one-on-one. The other guys in the room laughed loudly, pointing at Hyun-sung and laughing without knowing it. Your position. You want to become like that crippled superstar. Jinwoo shouted an order. All of you stay back. I will take care of this guy. What a hot-tempered idiot. He would rush at me without even thinking. Indeed, Jinwoo immediately rushed up and held out his hand, while Hyun-sung took a defensive position. He was the leader of this group because of his strength, but his mind was not. Just rushed up when Hyun-sung punched him in the face. His movements were slow, and it became even slower because of his size. Hyun-sung glared provocatively. One hit and it's over. You guys. It takes so much time. That makes Jinwoo mad. You bastard. He rushed up while cursing loudly. Don't act like you're so talented. You bastard. Hyun-sung thought. Jinwoo will become angry and trying to humble himself. He received another punch from Hyun-sung in the face. Relying on his endurance. No matter how many times Jinwoo rushed towards Hyun-sung, he still got hit. Face. But I already knew how to deal with the coach. One hit him in the stomach, making him scream in pain. He shouted angrily, you son of a bitch. I will kill. At that moment it was also Hyun-sung discovered a loophole. Right here. Hyun-sung hit him right on the chin. He continued to strike, so that he could not resist. A thick kick straight to the chest. And another attack. Hyun-sung's eyes are now shining with blood. Then he won't be able to hold back. I'll make him remember this day. The guys watching looked scared. Is this guy crazy? Hyun-sung thought he needed to do more. The place where Jinwoo was lying was drenched in blood. It was about to kill him. Jinwoo, right now barely alive, grabbed Hyun-sung's leg and begged. Hyun-sung, please stop, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Hyun-sung put his foot down. Are you sorry? Hyun-sung sat down and grabbed his collar. Park Jinwoo, say it again. Are you sure you defeated me? The other students stared at them. Hyun-sung growled. Say it again, he said angrily in front of everyone here. Jinwoo was scared. His swollen face trembled and said, I'm sorry, I was really wrong. I don't want to do that. He said, trembling. Shin Yun-min was forced me to do it. You know him, right, senior? I can't refuse his orders. The rumors are lies. How can I win against you? He begged Hyun-sung. Please trust me, I'm just following orders. If it wasn't for him this wouldn't have happened. So please stop. I'm sure I won't do it again. Hyun-sung also let go of his collar. Damn it, this is the final warning. He also turned to warn the people who were with Jinwoo. If you touch Siwoo again, if I catch you doing that. Hyun-sung kicked him straight in the face. Jinwoo made him fly away. Looking at the leader lying down in front of him, they couldn't do anything else. Hyun-sung emitted murderous aura and glared. I will chase you to the end of the world. And kill you guys. At the school's infirmary, Hyun-sung's voice said, didn't I tell you, just act like everyone else. There are still old bruises on your face. Hyun-sung from I'll say it. If you don't want something like today to happen again, then don't interfere in my business. Before I could finish speaking, Siwoo interrupted. I saw you coming before you fainted. Siwoo sat up and smiled at the bruises that had not yet healed. See, you were the same. As soon as you heard me being dragged away by Park Jinwoo, you immediately rushed over. How could I not? Is it okay to care for a friend like that? Said Siwoo, then reached out and touched Hyun-sung's hand. I don't know what happened, but the truth is that we are friends. So don't act like that. Like two strangers. Siwoo continued with sincerity. Even if today happened again, I would still do the same for you. But contrary to Sewoo's sincerity, Hyun-sung coldly shook his hand away and said, "Do you think it was a coincidence that I fought with Park Jinwoo?" The words that came out of his mouth made Sewoo stop smiling and be surprised. "No, I was the one who intended it like that. Because I wanted to kill them." Hyun-sung gloomily lowered his head and continued, "No matter what happens, this is just the beginning." Sewoo was confused. "Hey Kim Hyun-sung." Hyun-sung started to radiate murderous aura. He said seriously, "Do you know what my goal is? I will tear all the bullies to pieces. Even if it costs everything." Sewoo was confused. He stopped. Hyun-sung. But Hyun-sung wouldn't let him finish. He cleared his throat and said, "Shut up and listen." Hyun-sung coldly stood up. "I've been through a lot that I can't say. Okay with you, so stop these games. I'm just taking revenge." The next words made Sewoo hurt and sad. He put his face down. "If I were close to me today would happen again, so. Do you think you can handle it? You're the only one who gets beaten up with someone like Park Jinwoo." Hyun-sung had walked a while. He turned around and said to Sewoo, "Kim Sewoo, I consider you a friend. But remember the kind and friendly Kim Hyun-sung you know is dead." In his mind at this moment, countless thoughts appeared. "I have to stop you. If that's the case." Kim Hyun-sung coldly left without looking back. "So, if you hear anything about me in the future, don't get in my way. Because you will never be able to stand it. Only then will you be at peace." Sewoo sat absent-mindedly on the hospital bed. He clenched his teeth in anger as if he wanted to say something. Kim Hyun-sung has now walked out of the hospital room. Deep in Hyun-sung's heart, "Thank you for everything." Shin Yoon-min is sitting looking at his phone with his legs on the table happily. He is planning. "I heard that the reward has doubled. And the temporary salary will be paid soon. What should I use the money for?" His face showed a despicable smile. "Isn't it great? 10 million world just to bully one kid. I'll ask them to make me a commissioner in the future." Suddenly a rustling sound rang out as someone walked across the hallway. "Isn't he new? What's wrong with his pants?" Shin Yoon-min is still very happy with her future plans. "I also heard that there is a trustee of another school. And if I get involved, billions of won will no longer be a problem." At this moment Kim Hyun-sung was right in front of his class door. He was still happy. "What a gold mine. I can become a representative of Golden Crickle right after graduation." Hyun's strong sound of opening the door sung attracted him. Shin Yoon-min immediately glared. Who the hell opened the door so strongly? Hyun-sung stood at the door and asked in a harsh voice. "Was it you?" He glared at Shin Yoon-min. "The guy. The dog's name is Shin Yoon-min." Shin Yoon-min was immediately mad. His head stood up. "You, who did you just call a dog?" Hyun-sung happily replied, "Yes, you son of a bitch." Shin Yoon-min immediately felt insulted. His eyes flashed with blood. Glaring at Hyun-sung, Hyun-sung's head also flared up and angrily kicked Shin Yoon-min's body. However, that kick was easily blocked by him. That kick could not push Shin Yoon-min back very far. After blocking the attack, he glared and asked, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" Before he could finish speaking, Kim Hyun-sung continued to attack, but was stopped. Hyun-sung kept throwing punches, and Shin Yoon-min kept raising her hand to her head to block it. I asked, "What kind of dog are you?" After a while of blocking Shin Yoon-min's attack, he figured it out. He smiled disdainfully. It seemed like this guy had practiced martial arts somewhere, but didn't have any strength. He looked at Hyun-sung's attack and guessed it. His movements were also easy to predict. Suddenly a punch suddenly hit Shin Yoon-min's stomach, making him unable to react in time. He widened his eyes, surprised and painful. Hyun-sung when he just spoke up. "You asked who I am." You glared at him. "I'm Kim Hyun-sung, the person you're looking for." Shin Yoon-min heard that and laughed and stepped back. "You're an asshole. You know. Why are you here?" As soon as you finished asking, a chair suddenly flew towards you. Hyun-sung mercilessly took the chair and hit Shin Yoon-min on the head, making him scream. In pain, he held his bleeding head. "Crazy guy. How dare you use a chair to hit him?" Hyun-sung continued to forcefully pick up the chair. He thought, if he lost the advantage he had, it would be the end for him. Hyun-sung immediately threw the chair at Shin Yoon-min, but he quickly leaned over and dodged. He immediately rushed forward and threw his fist with all his strength. But this time the punch his attack was easily blocked by Shin Yoon-min with just one hand. He used all his strength to strike back. "You're the one." Hyun-sung started to raise his hand to block. He judged him, rushed from the front. But that punch hit Hyun-sung's stomach. Shin Yoon-min said contemptuously, "Do you think you're the only one who knows how to feint?" That punch made Hyun-sung wince in pain. Face. It's okay. Compared to Young-do Chol, this is still nothing. Next he attacked Hyun-sung's face directly. Now you have to continuously block his attacks. I knew it would happen. I didn't fight against Shin Yoon-min from the beginning. This fight was just a test for me. You were punched all over your body. From head to toe. I never thought of coming out without any damage. What? I need to bet everything on the chance I have. Then Hyun-sung's eyes turned to determination. When I reached the end, he caught Shin Yoon-min's right leg, kicking him his hips. Shin Yoon-min's eyes widened in surprise at this attack. Hyun-sung took that opportunity, rushed forward and hugged Shin Yoon-min's body, rushing straight towards the window. The window glass broke into falling pieces. Shin Yoon-min's whole body leaned back and trembled. Damn. He held onto the window sill with both hands, trembling, and said, "What a crazy guy. What do you want?" Hyun-sung growled. "What do I want?" he said frantically. "I die or you die." Every word that Hyun-sung uttered made Shin Yoon-min scared. I wanted to see what happened. Then a voice rang out. "You guys, what are you doing?" The guys in the class started shouting. "Pull that new guy out. Pull him out." A good person came and pulled Hyun-sung out, while he was still loudly saying, "Get out. I said leave me. Leave my mother." Hyun-sung said with a fierce face. "Shin Yoon-min, you son of a bitch. Do you think that's it? Never the moment you lay your hands on my friends." Shin Yoon-min just stood there looking at the crazy Hyun-sung. "It won't end until you die. Do you hear me?" he shouted loudly at Shin Yoon-min. "You better prepare yourself. I'll beat you whenever I can. Until I'm pulled out to the classroom door. You keep saying you think I can't do it. Do you really think that? I'll pull out the shit in your head. Let's see what happens when you tease me." The curses kept ringing out. A classmate came next to ask Shin Yoon-min, "Hey Shin Yoon-min, are you okay?" He took it easy, replied, "Why are you asking me that? Don't you see I just beat that guy?" The other guy stammered, "Sorry, I saw, but, Shin Yoon-min, you're back." Looks like Shin Yoon-min's back was stabbed by sharp pieces of iron glass and bled. The school loudspeaker shortly after announced, "The following students, please gather in the principal's office." The students led the teacher to the room. There had just been a fight. The teacher asked, confused, "So, what happened here?" Teacher Kim Young-chul thought. Kim Hyun-sung, it wasn't long ago that I arranged the last incident. But that kid caused another problem. The teacher looked at the bloodstains on the floor, thinking in fear, "I'll have to deal with this first." It's not difficult to silence Park Jinwoo. But the problem is effectiveness. Principal Oh Dae-hwan looked at the bloodstains on the floor. "I don't know what the disciplinary committee does every day. But right now Oh Dae-hwan wants to make this school a prestigious school in the country. Will this time, did he ignore?" Principal Oh Dae-hwan's voice was light. "Or just ignore this?" Kim Young-chul was bewildered. "Excuse me." The principal seemed upset. "I need to repeat why." He said one more time. "I said let's ignore the problem this time." Teacher Kim Young-chul said in confusion. "I don't understand what you are saying." Oh Dae-hwan still slowly drank his tea and said, "My friend Kim Young-chul said that the eldest son Go Chang-beom came out victorious in the succession war of Myeongjin Construction Group. He cunningly smiled and Go Chang-beom agreed, became a sponsor of Chinul High School. He announced that he would contribute to major expenses and operations of the school. And once he became the president of Myeongjin Group, he promised that he would even more sponsorship." Kim Young-chul was speechless when he heard this. After saying that, the principal raised his head and smiled happily. "To be honest, sponsorship is different from donating or contributing. People only sponsor when they want to receive something in return." He tilted his head, continued to ask, what did he think Go Chang-beom, the eldest son of the Myeongjin Construction Group, was hoping to get in return for sponsoring Chinul School? The company's image, reputation at Daesun, not those things. There, Go Chang-beom wanted a favor. Oh Dae-hwan continued, that, during the time that Kim Hyun-sung was studying at Chinul School, no matter what trouble the kid did, he wanted him to I buried it like nothing happened. Hearing what the principal said, Kim Young-chul could only stand there holding his hands tightly. "So this time just close your eyes and let it go. This is not a normal thing. Why? We also supported a few students of Jinwoo School. But he closed his eyes when he said that. Of course I don't intend to let you do this for free. The next words surprised Kim Young-chul. Performance salary and countless benefits that the school also provides. You will be the top priority. He continued cunningly, and as our investor said, he left a few priority votes for the application to buy an apartment from Myeongjin Group, which is about to take place. He looked straight at the teacher with a concerned expression. I heard real estate prices are increasing day by day. You and your wife should also have a nice apartment of your own, right? Hearing this, the teacher's name also revealed a cunning smile. You simply need to just take care of it as usual. He smiled and said happily, so from now on we will only take care of one person. That is Kim Hyun-sung. The teacher's whole body trembled with joy. Do you understand? He slammed his hand on the table and said excitedly, yes, principal, I will do my best. Just tell me what to do. And Kim Young-chul will arrange everything quickly. Perfect way. The principal was satisfied. You're really trustworthy, since we're in the same boat. So how about you just call me brother? Teacher Kim Young-chul immediately grabbed his hand. Really? Then I will listen to you. I will help make Jinwoo School famous. Under your name, you will become a legend of Daesun. Oh, Dae-hwan laughed happily when he heard that. My brother is saying something quite embarrassing. From now on you should only take good care of Kim Hyun-sung's problems. Understand? He is cunning and calculating. If Kim Hyun-sung is good career without any problems, Jinwoo School will be backed by Myeongjin Construction Group. Do you think I will abandon my top partner? Brother, Kim Young-chul loudly. Thank you. At this moment, suddenly another person rushed into the room. The principal announced that Hyun-sung had just been beaten. Both of them were surprised. What did you say? Both of them held hands stood up. Who the hell did that? Shin Yun-min grimaced angrily. He sat in the principal's office angrily said, seriously, this isn't fair. He came to find me and hit me first. How can we let him go? Oh, Dae-hwan immediately advised. Shin Yun-min is a senior. I even heard that he also learns many types of martial arts. Student that attacked a junior, someone 2 years younger than him. He accused Shin Yun-min. Do you think he did the right thing? Kim Young-chul also followed suit. Hey kid, you thought I don't know you? You always beat other kids every chance you get. The principal reminded him. Mr. Kim Young-chul, please speak softly. He immediately turned around. I'm sorry, but this kid is always the one who uses violence against others. Shin Yun-min really angry and objected. This is really unfair. Because of him I fell and almost died. There were even witnesses. You know. Kim Young-chul came closer and put his hand on Shin Yun-min's shoulder and said, in any case where there are no witnesses, the important thing is whether the witness is trustworthy or not. The teacher faced Shin Yun-min. Both glared at each other. Just go out on the street and ask a random person. Who is more trustworthy, a model student, or a bastard like you? Think about who they will choose. Shin Yun-min almost went crazy. He was angry, cursing angrily. Damn it. Kim Young-chul immediately picked him up by the collar. Who do you think you're shouting at? The teacher glared at him. Listen carefully, you bastard. If you keep denying it and continue to do things like this, I will charge you with more crimes. Then he let go of Shin Yun-min's collar. I ask you one last time. Do you intend to admit that you did this? Did I do something wrong? Shin Yun-min felt something was both strange and familiar. He looked around this room. From the principal to the teacher, the adults in front of him were equally miserable. At that moment you realized that. Making trouble with Kim Hyun-sung. Shin Yun-min gritted her teeth and pursed her lips. It was no different from making trouble with a crazy person. Shin Yun-min bowed her head and confessed. You was wrong. When he walked out of that room, he was furious and gritted his teeth and said, Kim Young-chul, that damn bastard. Why did he choose to side with Kim Hyun-sung? He just walking in the hallway thinking, what should I do in this situation? Since I'm about to graduate, I can't let this drag me down. Shin Yun-min angrily called. Damn it, told even if I have to pay a little more, I have no choice but to seek help from outside. In a car, a voice rang out. It's a real headache, but also a bit fun. Holding a cup of coffee in his right hand and holding a piece of paper containing information in his left hand, he exclaimed, this is still something we often do. Where did Myeongjin Construction Corporation come from? looking at the pile of information Hyun-sung had in his hand. He thought, all the bullies were expelled, and the principal and teachers were all on his side. He picked up his coffee cup and took a sip. The failure of the mercenary will become my duty. The broker, the golden crickle, will not forgive any mistake. He smiled sinisterly with his hands on the steering wheel. Then I will have to just take care of it yourself. Golden crickle, the person in charge of rural brokerage. Kang Tae-gu, at the principal's office. He came to talk to him. I'm Kang Tae-gu, Shin Yoon-min's uncle. Kang Tae-gu, slowly sitting across from the principal, said. Shin Yoon-min said that he was treated unfairly. You can give more details about it. Otherwise, in his mind, people like Oh Dae-hwan would never admit it. Any risk? The principal asked with a puzzled expression. Unfair treatment. We have never been involved in any such incident. He looked at the principal to guess. If he felt anything that's dangerous, he'll bow his head soon. Kang Tae-gu started to cross his legs and laughed. Something quite interesting happened a few days ago. 4 students were taken into an ambulance. And then all were all expelled. He added, and Kim Hyun-sung, who was also involved in this incident, was the only one who only received a light punishment. Honestly, this should have been a police matter. Close, but he was right. Kang Tae-gu emphasized every word. Is he giving special treatment to that student Kim Hyun-sung? If that's the case, then I won't let it go easily. Oh Dae-hwan said with a smile. What an interesting story. In Daesun there are laws that are only for Daesun. He opened his arms wide. Because we are worried about the student's future, we decided not to let the police continue to investigate. We also finished the game. I already discussed it with the police. So you can do whatever you want. Kang Tae-gu still didn't give up and continued to glare threateningly. Do you really think that's okay? I'm the one who dares to speak and dare to act. The principal smiled when he heard that. Yes, I understand what you mean. But you see, this is Daesun. He still kept a bright smile. So that threat had no effect at all. At police headquarters. Is that a problem? The policeman tilted his head and asked. That incident was clearly an act of self-defense against violent people. He pointed his pen at Kang Tae-gu sitting opposite. Even we policemen could see it. How do those things happen? Do we really have to go overboard and ruin a student's life? The more he listened to the policeman, the more unsightly Kang Tae-gu's face became. If we really punish student Kim Hyun-sung, then first that's why we have to put Shin Yoon-min in jail first. When Kang Tae-gu heard that, he couldn't help but bang the table in anger. Damn, this is exactly the reason why people always criticize you guys. And lose trust. At the police, he gritted his teeth and threatened. If you don't take care of things properly, I will definitely make this public. You know how terrible the internet can be these days. Right. The policeman smirked and said. This is Daesun. He looked at Kang Tae-gu contemptuously. Not at Seon, if he made it public or announced anything. He smiled contemptuously at Kang Tae-gu. That's just something that will disappear after a few days off. Right. Kang Tae-gu clenched his teeth angrily. Damn, what kind of damn town is this? Obviously, the police chief of that town is Oh Dae-hwan's friend. Why in a small town? That's normal, isn't it? The house next door is good since it's a house across the street. Everyone knows each other, so it seems they all know how to keep each other's secrets. Kang Tae-gu was surprised while listening on the phone, realizing the reason Oh Dae-hwan was so confident. Is that so? Because he believes in local relations. Only now did Kang Tae-gu realize that the problem related to local forces in this place is really too complicated. Because if it were only about personal interests, it would be easy intervention. But this is related to local sentiments. A type of territorial logic that will exclude outsiders from participating in local affairs. As if everything that happens here has been approved. Arranged on a chessboard. If someone accidentally makes a chess piece leave its original position, no matter how many benefits are compensated, it will not be accepted. Only now did Kang Tae-gu realize that. He sat alone to think. Smoking probably helped him relieve stress, but the lighter was broken. He knew this was the reason why people don't want to find jobs in the countryside. Even simple tasks. And if he himself fails in this mission, he doesn't know how disastrous the outcome will be. Thinking of this, Kang Tae-gu angrily threw the lighter in the air, cursing with his hands and mouth. Damn it, he definitely won't let that happen. Golden Crickle, a powerful organization that has never failed in any request so far. Not overnight, this organization has achieved the reputation it has today. So Kang Tae-gu clearly understands. That even if he fails this request, Golden Crickle will still send another broker here to complete this request. But if that happens, then his life will also end. Because Golden Crickle will not forgive losers. At times like this, he tries to stay calm and thinking thoroughly to find a solution. On Shin Yun-min's side was not much better. While he was walking on the street, he received a phone call from Kang Tae-gu. Not knowing what he said, Shin Yun-min immediately panicked. What are you talking about? What the hell do you mean? You said you would help. Before Shin Yun-min could finish his sentence, the other end of the line shouted angrily. You really don't understand what I'm talking about. You damn bastard. Do you think the Golden Crickle is a joke? You're a mercenary, not me. You even received a bonus, and what else do you want? Help you, just because you are in a difficult time. To you we are a joke. Is very clear. What Kang Tae-gu wants to say is that his side doesn't want to help. He wants to let Shin Yun-min solve this problem by herself in another way. When Shin Yun-min heard that, her face immediately turned sour. Her mouth stuttered. No, it's not like that. Just wait. Kang Tae-gu continued. If not, then listen carefully. You're making me angry, so I'll tell you one last time. You bastard. You need to think carefully to solve this case. Who said you need to fight Kim Hyun-sung? Lower his score instead. You can use the lower class kids or do it yourself. Just find a way to lower that bastard's score. It doesn't matter if he has a teacher by his side. That means he won't be covered for anything. Shin Yun-min couldn't believe that Golden Crickle would come up with this method. He's a mercenary. He used to do his missions by directly fighting. But now he has to use a method to immediately lower the enemy's score. Immediately, Shin Yun-min understood. This idea did not come from Golden Crickle but completely from Kang Tae-gu. That bastard had offered to help first, but now he was planning to escape quietly. Finally, Kang Tae-gu added another sentence. Shin Yun-min, listen. Golden Crickle does not accept failure. If you give up the mission or fail, we will not only deal with Kim Hyun-sung, never mind, but also you, because it's the Golden Crickle, so it doesn't matter how you do it. But only if it succeeds. Kang Tae-gu's threat really worked. Even Shin Yun-min saw the scene himself being strangled to the point of suffocation appeared before his eyes. It also means that now, Shin Yun-min is not allowed to refuse but is forced to complete the assigned task. He tries to run as fast as possible to go home, still struggling in his mind, thinking, damn, now, what should I do now? I can't escape this anymore. Right now, from behind a familiar low voice rang out. I told you to be careful behind you. The other day, after Shin Yun-min went to school with many wounds on his head and face. It seemed like someone had beaten him the night before. His classmates saw that and couldn't stop talking. What's wrong with his face? Shin Yun-min, yesterday they fought. Do you know that guy named Kim Hyun-sung? That crazy first-year guy. I don't think it was because of that. Yesterday Shin Yun-min completely overpowered him. Yes, he didn't get hit in the face at all. Meaning that crazy first-year guy took revenge after class. His classmates' words made Shin Yun-min feel even more uncomfortable. He gritted his teeth and tried to stabilize his emotions. The whispers still showed no signs of stopping. It was so scary. I remember he warned Shin Yun-min to be careful. Damn it, if that's right, that guy is really crazy. The words were careful and immediately made Shin Yun-min remember the memory of the night before. The person who suddenly appeared behind him and said the words, I told you to be careful. After that, it was none other than Kim Hyun-sung, who was a mercenary. Shin Yun-min quickly reacted, and swung a punch at Kim Hyun-sung. But before his fist could when he landed, Hyun-sung spoke first. It seems like the mission is more important to you than life. This statement referred to Shin Yun-min's current situation. He immediately stopped. What? Shin Yun-min angrily asked. Hyun-sung calmly replied, I heard that the broker came to see the principal, so I know the situation. This sentence almost made Shin Yun-min collapse. He quickly asked again, how could you? Before he could finish his sentence, Hyun-sung spoke first. But you should think straight. You know that, right? The son of Myeong Jin Group has become my guardian. I never planned to end this as a student matter. Don't think that after causing trouble with me, you will simply be expelled from school. No matter what happens, I will drag you to the criminal court and have you convicted. And when you get out of prison, people from Myeong Jin Group will be waiting for you. Those people will do everything in their power so that you can never use your fists in Daesun again. To live as a human. You have no other choice but to leave here. Your hometown. But, even if you do that, do you think I will forgive you? The threats really made Shin Yun-min tremble in fear. His eyes widened. The scene of the dark future immediately appeared in front of him. He quickly stepped back, kept shouting, "What the hell are you talking about? What do you want? Is it fair?" As he said, he backed away until he fell to the ground before stopping. Hyun-sung standing from above, looking down at him like looking at a trembling dog. He replied, "No, I only want one thing." Shin Yun-min raised her hand in front of her face and stammered, saying wait. But at this moment, the anger has completely taken over Hyun-sung. "I want to destroy anyone who wants to cause trouble with me." Hyun-sung looked straight into Shin Yun-min's eyes and said each word clearly. Then he tried to grab the guy's collar. Shin Yun-min then lifted him up, reminding him, "You must accept this. If you still want to go to school normally in the future, if you want to continue living as a human being in Daesun, then stop now. You have to endure what your victims have to endure." As soon as he finished speaking, Hyun-sung punched Shin Yun-min in the head so hard that he fell backwards. Continued followed by a series of straight punches that made Shin Yun-min unable to resist. The flashback ended. Shin Yun-min rubbed the wound on his face while cursing silently. "Vile bastard. He is nothing. Well, I can beat him whenever I want, but the problem is those trash names. But if I leave him alone, the golden crickle will come to punish me for my failure." Shin Yun-min held his head. He didn't want to offend anyone, because no matter what he did, he would put himself in danger. If the rumors are true, then that guy will destroy everything I have. And even if I give up the mission, the consequences will be the same. Come to think of it, thousands of images of being tortured as well as having to running away because of being chased appeared before her eyes, making Shin Yun-min almost unable to breathe. Perhaps being expelled and sentenced would be better. As soon as this thought appeared, Shin Yun-min was immediately shocked. Refusing, he angrily banged his head on the table and shouted, "Damn, what the hell was I thinking? Damn, I shouldn't have accepted this mission." He slammed the table hard as if to show off, showing determination. "I don't have much of a choice now. I can hope that Hyun-sung's score somehow drops. If his score drops even a little, then I will with more time." Shin Yun-min hopes he can avoid the worst situation. Meanwhile, Hyun-sung is still busy planning his next plan. He knows that threats are effective for a period of time, but it's only temporary. After the exam ends, everything will be completely different. The moment I get a high score in the midterm exam, everyone's true emotions will explode. Shin Yun-min, who is trying to survive. Golden Crickle, who must achieve their goal at all costs. And who makes the request, who cannot see themselves failing. The moment of everything, emotions converge and explode. I will achieve my goal. Thinking of this, Hyun-sung smiled with satisfaction. The important thing is the result. If I can achieve what I want, there is no need to I don't care about other things. Whether I take advantage of the principal or the Myeong-jin group, whether I act despicably or cruelly, all I need is the result. Everything is going according to plan. Now no one can touch me for 1,000 days. This is a shield built by malice, and it helps Kim Hyun-sung feel a visible peace of mind. In the room practice, the coach's voice echoed, go on, don't stop and open your fists. This is your decision, no matter how terrible your situation is, as long as you have the will overcome your physical limits. You will never fail." Hyun-sung swung his fist at the coach with all his might. Each move was decisive, strong, yes, just like that, even though just give it a punch and it's over. To be able to do that means you have to learn how to think and react even when you're in the worst situation. Hyun-sung seems to have become turned into a different person. His eyes were full of determination. His hands in front of him prepared to welcome a surprise attack from coach. Just like at this moment. Had just finished speaking, the coach swung fist towards Hyun-sung. He quickly ducked to avoid it, at the same time keeping his distance, and suddenly counterattacked at the coach's hip. Although he was able to block it, the damage and counterattack his shooting from earlier still received praise. Good, very good, that's enough for today, he secretly admired. The kid really has talent. I can see him using a few moves. Moves that I've never taught him. That's probably his hidden potential. Pack up your things and go home. Rest is as important as practice. The coach reminded. Okay, Hyun-sung turned around. Leave. If this transaction didn't involve money, I would have asked him about trying his luck in a professional environment. Hyun-sung thought as he put on his shoes. I was scolded for practicing too much a few days ago. He was right. Rest is also necessary to become stronger. As soon as Hyun-sung walked to the door, he turned around and shouted inside, "See you later." But before he could finish his words, a shadow just passed by and made him stop. "Hello, I'm Kim Si-woo. I booked a consultation today. Now, a few days ago, Si-woo sat on the bed sick in the hospital. What the hell happened? Something terrible must have happened to make him become such a determined person. Why did the person who always smiled and wished to give his grandmother a happy life has changed so much?" From now on, Hyun-sung's image in Si-woo's eyes has never changed. He has always been a close friend, a filial nephew. Why did he go so far so? Thinking about this, Si-woo's tears couldn't help but fall. Do you know what my goal is? I will tear to pieces all the bully bastards. Even if it means it's all a waste this life. Every word Hyun-sung said in the past made Si-woo confused. Damn, even though we were close friends, now I don't recognize him anymore. I must have what should I do from now on? Now, at this moment, the door to the hospital room opened. A friend rushed in. Si-woo, it's a big deal. Hyun-sung and Shin Yoon-min. A story that doesn't feel real at all. I swear this is true. Yes, I heard it from the mouth of a close senior, even though I heard it with my own ears. Si-woo still widened his eyes in surprise. Kim Hyun-sung, you are really still the same person as before. He suddenly appeared and beat Shin Yoon-min, tried to push him down the window with him too. Si-woo could really imagine that scene in his mind. Hyun-sung holding Shin Yoon-min's collar and pulling him out the window. The cursing of Shin Yoon-min's name rang in his ears. Damn, you're really a psychopath. What do you want? Suddenly Si-woo said the words that Hyun-sung once said. You should know that if don't you dare touch Kim Hyun-sung's relatives you'll be in big trouble. What did you say? The other guy didn't hear clearly. No, it's okay. Okay, it's time for me to go. With that the other guy left the room, leaving behind her only Si-woo sat trembling on the bed. You're really a bad guy, Kim Hyun-sung. After you've done all that, how can I leave you now? That's the time Si-woo decided to become stronger himself to be able to standing next to Hyun-sung. So, at this time he was present at the practice room. Director, you said we have a new member. Is it Si-woo? Hyun-sung asked. Do you two know each other? The coach called out. I'm really sorry but don't take him in. I will pay all the fees he agreed to pay. Hyun-sung hadn't finished his sentence yet. The coach spoke up. But I don't want that. I can see one big picture. This is also a good thing. He would cause less trouble if he had at least one friend next to him. The coach thought to himself and smiled. He walked over and put his hand on his shoulder. It's Si-woo. It's my right to accept or reject others in this practice room. Now please come over here for a moment. Handsome guest. And you should go home and don't go over the limit. Say then he pulled Si-woo aside, leaving Hyun-sung standing in place. Inside the room, the coach sat across from Si-woo. So you want to help Hyun-sung? Yes. Do you know that Hyun-sung wants to get rid of all the bullies? I know. Damn, I'm feeling a bit dizzy. I'm doing a new consultation. Haven't done it in a long time. But the trainer feels helpless in front of Si-woo. You think my gym is the place encouraging school violence? No, if I had the right, I would have kicked Kim Hyun-sung out. The coach tilted his head and said, I understand, because the gym is a place to train yourself. Have you seen my wounds? I have these wounds because I stood up against the bullies who caused trouble with Hyun-sung. Si-woo said as he took off the bandage on his face, revealing the wound. The injuries haven't healed yet. School violence is still going on, and it's not as simple as the adults thought. At that time, if Hyun-sung hadn't helped me, I probably would have been a disabled person, lying on the bathroom floor. Right now, Hyun-sung is risking his life to protect me. I don't want to close my eyes with a friend like that. Please don't force me to find somewhere else. I think there must be a reason why Hyun-sung came to this place. Si-woo said, opening his eyes wide, waiting for an answer from the coach. He was now helplessly holding his head. Perhaps only now did he realize that he had dug his own grave. Si-woo took out a wad of money from his backpack and said, This is all the money I have. If it's not enough, I'll work part-time to pay more. Hearing this, the coach couldn't hold back any longer and slammed down on the board. What the hell makes you so desperate at this age? Huh, even if you don't help me, I will still be with Hyun-sung. Siwoo calmly replied. It was Siwoo's calmness and the scars on his face that made the coach think. In this type of situation, hey, when even he himself was involved in school violence, is it right to tell these children to live in hell and not fight back? Come to think of it, the coach could only sigh in compromise. I lost, then come to the practice room from tomorrow morning. But you will be kicked out if you can't keep up with the progress of the district training. Hearing that the coach agreed, Siwoo was immediately happy response. Yes, looking at the face of the young man in front of him. The coach silently exclaimed, yes, I should give him some courage and ability to fight back against violence. As soon as he walked out of the room, Kim Siwoo's familiar voice rang out. Just before Siwoo could react, a towel flew in front of him. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and reached out to catch it. Looking at your expression, he's probably the director who has already agreed. Right, Kim Hyun-sung stood opposite and said in a cold voice. But I haven't yet, do you understand? So prove yourself, that even if you fall to the bottom of hell like me, you still have enough bravery and tenacity to climb up yourself. That you can keep this small friendship. Surely you know that what I'm about to do won't help my future. What will you get after stepping into this quagmire? What about your friendship with me? Stop talking nonsense. Do you have you could die after fighting all night? Or you could go to jail for the rest of your life. If you bet your life on this, your outcome won't be good. You accept it? No, Hyun-sung asked as he raised his fist towards Siwoo. Siwoo also did not hesitate to touch fists with Hyun-sung. I know, that's why I want us to do it together. 2 is still good, better than this. Crazy guy, the first warn you in advance. From this point on, don't think of me as a friend anymore. As soon as he finished speaking, Hyun-sung rushed towards Siwoo. I had to win this battle overwhelmingly, so that I could completely cut off the relationship between me and him. But Siwoo didn't care at all. Showing weakness, he swung an extremely strong kick at Hyun-sung's left side. Even though Hyun-sung blocked it, it was still a pretty strong blow. You must have forgotten, I'm a veteran. Encouragement. Okay, let's fight hard together. Hyun-sung was also really serious. He carefully observed every move of Siwoo, then easily blocked his attacks. If you're not confident in fighting, you shouldn't be the one to attack first. If it was a one-on-one fight, Park Jinwoo would have been defeated by me. As he spoke, Siwoo threw a kick at Hyun-sung's chin, but he dodged it. Is that a skill that was famous before? Hyun-sung silently exclaimed. Siwoo's skills are truly not ordinary. Kim Siwoo used to work as a taekwondo athlete for a long time, and won many gold medals in competitions. Who is called an expert. However, during a domestic competition, he encountered the son of association president, and then lost due to a controversial decision. It was all useless, Siwoo once said when Hyun-sung came to ask about the previous competition. With feelings of doubt, Kim Siwoo finally gave up taekwondo. However, the steadfast determination from that time never disappeared. Right now, Siwoo was knocked to the floor by Hyun-sung. Hyun-sung held his collar with one hand raised his fist in front of Siwoo's face and asked, do you know a technique called panhandling in mixed martial arts? And this attack can also knock down the opponent. Finished speaking, Hyun-sung punched Siwoo hard in the face many times in a row. Announced to give up. While punching, Hyun-sung shouted, but Siwoo still did not say a word. Childhood image of both of them appeared. At that time, it was Hyun-sung who stood up first and told Siwoo behind his back. Now too, Hyun-sung wanted Siwoo to give up. Didn't want to see his best friend in danger because of him. Said he gave up going down one attack after another. Siwoo still tried to raise his hands to defend. Absolutely not giving up. The image of Hyun-sung smilingly standing in front of him as he always reminded Siwoo that he must not give up. I am possible, Siwoo shouted loudly in Hyun-sung's face. I can't abandon you. Siwoo wanted to protest, but Hyun-sung didn't give him a chance. Hyun-sung continued to increase the power of punching him in the face. Siwoo, hurry up and beg. Hyun-sung almost wanted to force Siwoo to give up. Beg me to stop. Siwoo was exhausted at this point. He let his hands drop and let Hyun-sung punch him. My face. Even though there were bruises all over his face. Even though the corners of his mouth were bleeding. Even though his nose was almost broken. Siwoo still smiled loudly. It was that smile that made Hyun-sung calm down. Again, you didn't continue to hit Siwoo, but sat to the side and covered your face with your hands. You psychopath. Hyun-sung said softly. Why did you go so far? You're too sincere for one person. Siwoo tried to reply. I have an unforgettable memory. I was teased every day. Even though I didn't do anything wrong. I was still beaten and then lying on the ground. But I didn't dare tell my grandparents. They the person who raised me. A child abandoned by his parents. And at that moment you appeared. Maybe that moment was nothing to you. But I will never forget your actions at that time. You ask why I went so far. They're such bastards. Is it an accident? I know you didn't do anything wrong. How can a friend like me turn a blind eye to you? I can't be what I want. This is my life. Giving up taekwondo or continuing to be friends with you is my choice. And I will not regret it. After hearing Siwoo's words from the bottom of his heart, Hyun-sung could only hold his head and sigh. Why? Why doesn't he give up? At this moment the door to the arena opened. Both of you, why don't you stop fighting and come practice with me? The coach came in to relieve the pressure between the two of you. I'll bet my life to bring him to the top of UFL. Both of these kids are very talented. How could someone like them be subject to school violence? Even if they didn't study with me, these kids would more than enough to take down a few guys. The coach silently assessed that as a UFL athlete, I have met many promising people, but no one has ever had the power of internal kicks and the ability to sense absolute position at this age. Can show off many skills like Kim Siwoo. On the other hand, Kim Hyun-sung is a genius born with a spirit of steel. Good judgment helps him easily have the advantage in beneficial situations, and at the same time, immediately detects open any gaps in the opponent's defense. If it is said that Kim Siwoo is a natural talent who will definitely succeed on the professional path, then Kim Hyun-sung is the one with the potential to rise to the top of the group. The coach stepped in front of the two. The person then said, Kim Hyun-sung, I have an offer for you. I have never made an offer to anyone, but your talent is so extraordinary. It would be a waste not to use it. Hyun-sung, you told me before, what I do won't help your future. Quit school, get rid of the shackles of studying and focus on sports. Even if career destroys my class, I'll still keep in touch with you. Many athletes, this is not an empty word. I will definitely bring you to the top. Faced with the coach's invitation, Hyun-sung calmly asked, Hey, why are you participating in the competition? MMA, because it's the best sport for me. Like you, and it also suits my preferences. Before the coach could finish his sentence, Hyun-sung interrupted, This is the reason why I can't compete. I have no interest in fighting. It hurts so much that I always want to give up. But I have the thought that I feel like I will die if I don't use all my strength. When I said these words, Hyun-sung's eyes were both steady and strong. I was struggling inside such suffering. Hyun-sung, even though the coach wanted to say something more, Hyun-sung no longer had the patience to listen. Please think carefully about this. You should be the one to say it. Make the decision, not me. If our thoughts are different, then you can withdraw the offer and do what you want, but don't drag me in. After saying that, Hyun-sung carried his backpack leave. Hyun-sung and Siwoo hurriedly chased after, thought carefully and then said, Hyun-sung coldly reminded, Are you confident that you don't need to apologize when you choose to do that to me? Yes, that's right. Yes, Siwoo affirmed. Okay, I won't hinder you anymore. But I have a few conditions. What conditions? Siwoo quickly asked. First, you must go practice with me every day, no matter what you choose. No matter what the boss's situation is. We should still change gyms. If you fall behind, I'll leave you. Siwoo followed behind Hyun-sung and immediately said, Okay, say the second condition. Go. Second, only get involved in matters you can solve yourself. If it's an unwinnable battle, or the law is involved, then you have to leave immediately. That's it. Before Siwoo could give his opinion, Hyun-sung interrupted. What? Can't do it? No. Siwoo didn't dare to refute. I had prepared very carefully to face him. But the thing is still so vague. Well, it's just empty words now. Siwoo thought to himself. Okay, it's over, right? No, there's still a third one. Tell me everything. From now on, Myeongjin Construction Group will give you monthly allowance. I mean, it's okay to know that. Don't ask any more questions. If you refuse, then we'll end here. Remember to learn. When the time to escape your hellish reality comes, If nothing happens, I hope your life will be brighter than mine. This is the best. I don't want to use love. This situation will change Kim Se-woo's future. Hyun-sung just came home and saw his younger brother watching TV. Hyun-jin, I'm home. What are you doing? Hello. Here. If they win today, then the Baker team will advance to the finals. Oh, why are you so worried? Hyun-jin was watching the match on TV while talking. That. What? It's okay. I'll go, I'm cooking. Yes. Just watch. I'll do it quickly. Saying that Hyun-sung went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. In his previous life, the team that Hyun-jin supported would go straight to office championship. He didn't tell me, but maybe he really wanted to watch the competition live. He was a kid who loved games. But he never asked me to buy him a computer. He's a cute little brother. Never bothers me about playing outside too much. Grandma, Hyun-jin and Kim Se-woo. At least the people I cherish are not inspired by what I do. I will become better and live a different life than before. Shin Yun-min, Golden Crickle. I will smash the things that hinder me. Brother, remember more, give me lots of sausages. Okay, right now. The phone notified that there was an incoming text message. Hyun-sung opened it and saw that it was a text message from the coach with the content. Hyun-sung, I'm sorry. At that time, it was due to greed that I accidentally overstepped. Let's just proceed according to our original plan. I won't mention the professional tournament anymore. But if there comes a time when you want to change, if you change your mind, just let me know. A few weeks later, the weather was clear during the second high school midterm exam. All the students sat seriously doing their homework and there was a teacher standing guard over the class. The top 10 students had not yet been selected. Society recognizes that assessment exams that help them prove their existence are extremely important. Passing the exam questions back. As long as I'm still the supervisor. Hyun-sung also took a piece of paper, then passed it back. The teacher kept saying, you will immediately get a 0 if any cheating is detected. Do your best. Check your flashcards too. More students. Hyun-sung looked at the test and thought, if I don't score high on this test, my plan will fail before it even begins. I must get a score. Good. Hyun-sung held his head. I prepared a lot for the test. He remembered when he was sitting on the chair studying. Remembered the stormy days sitting alone studying. I tried a lot, but Hyun-sung held his head in pain. I remembered everything. I remembered all the correct answers. In the exam room, my classmates started holding their chins and breathing. Dying. Damn, it's too difficult. The teacher reminded. Be quiet. Only Hyun-sung sat looking at the ceiling. Only later did he realize that that person named Kim Hyun-sung was still crazy in class. Episode. Image of Hyun-sung floating in the air aimlessly. When Hyun-sung was beaten, even when bullied, he still studied persistently, regretting the high school days he lived like a vegetable. Hyun-sung fell from a high place. Memories of his past life remained like iron and steel. He raised his eyes to the ceiling. His pupils streaked with blood. I shouldn't forget it. He started to press his pen. It was the desire to take revenge on those bastards. He created himself today. After all the exams were over, the other classmates were happy looking at each other for answers. Only Hyun-sung sat absent-mindedly looking out the window. Suddenly a girl happily approached him and smiled and said, Hyun-sung, don't you compare the answers? Bright Prospects High School, first year, grade 10. Oh hi G. Hyun-sung turned coldly and replied, no. She asked again, what's wrong? He replied again, that's all. Hyun-sung silently asked, he is High G. Hyun-sung remembered, he was quite famous, because he was both beautiful and cute. But he confessed his love to me in freshman year. He thought back, I had rejected him because of his lack of self-esteem. Believing and not thinking that she could date and study hard at the same time. High G winked at Hyun-sung. Really? Then let me compare. If you have the test papers from 2 days ago, give them to me. Then he started comparing answers. Question 1C was exactly as I thought. Question 2D was very good. You got 100 points in foreign language. Hyun-sung thought, I don't need to stop him. Using High G's popularity is also good. Other classmates also gathered around. This lesson is the same. Even Korean history got 100 points, huh? Suddenly something attracted her. High G stammered, Hyun-sung, you got 100 points in all subjects. You got 100 points in all subjects. A muffled sound rang out as if not believing what he heard. Is that true? on the other end of the line kept talking urgently. I heard there was a kid who wasn't even in the top 10. But suddenly he took the top spot. Oh Dae-hwan sat on the chair in the office quietly listening to the person on the other end of the line question. Didn't you say this test was very difficult? Oh Dae-hwan calmly replied. This boy is a quite smart child, but I also didn't expect him to improve to this level so quickly. The person on the other end of the line didn't seem to believe what Oh Dae-hwan said, or what kind of support he had given him. I heard the student tell him, protecting that boy too much. Oh Dae-hwan slowly stood up from his chair. Talking nonsense. The exam was fair. Of course we won't get involved. We won't do anything that smears what's the reputation of a famous school like this. The person on the other end of the line replied with a grumpy tone. Sir, I want to know which exam preparation center that boy studied at. What the person on the other end of the line said. Oh Dae-hwan couldn't help but laugh. Exam preparation center. I understand how you feel. But Kim Hyun-sung doesn't go to extra classes. He just studies in class. He leisurely sat on the chair in table and then confidently said. It cannot be denied that our school indeed has its own very good education system. Sir, I feel very sorry for many parents who keep pouring money into useless things. I hope you remind the students to pay attention to their studies. After speaking, he immediately hung up. It seems this is not the first call about this issue. Kim Young-chul is sitting opposite Oh Dae-hwan took a sip of coffee and asked. Another call asking him about extra classes and that. Oh so helplessly said, don't mention it again, I don't know if they care about the principal. Kim Young-chul exclaimed. Well, I admit that this test is really difficult. Oh Dae-hwan took the cup of coffee from Kim Young-chul's hand and slowly replied. And that thing too, we all did it, because parents complained that the test was too easy to classify students. Kim Young-chul spoke up to object. But this time the test is so difficult that it is almost impossible to get a perfect score. Oh Dae-hwan, I can't help but think of Hyun-sung. I know that, so I can't help but expect more from that boy. He has extremely great confidence in Kim Hyun-sung's future. Even from now on, I can see the future where Kim Hyun-sung will be ranked first nationwide in the exam. And will also be the valedictorian of the Korean University entrance exam. Oh Dae-hwan put down his cup of coffee. Casually asked Kim Young-chul. Do you think so? Kim Young-chul hesitated for a moment and then agreed. Yes. He said yes. Received a satisfied answer. Oh Dae-hwan continued analyzing. Finally have the opportunity to raise the brand of our school. With Kim Hyun-sung's scores plus the backing of Myeongjin Company. Soon our dream will come true. But in his heart he had an invisible fear. The problem was that for some reason he felt like Kim Hyun-sung would continue to cause more trouble. He seriously pointed his finger at Kim Young-chul. That would be the case. If people find out that the national valedictorian is a troublemaker, then the reputation that our school has worked so hard to build will plummet. He pointed directly at Kim Young-chul. Little brother, do you remember how I told you to keep a careful eye on Kim Hyun-sung? When Kim Young-chul heard that, he was immediately stunned and quickly said, Yes, that's why I haven't let him go. I finished my sentence. Oh Dae-hwan interrupted. You know, you're still doing well. That's not enough. Our goal is perfection. From now on Kim Hyun-sung will be a great product. The best that our school has trained. He finished speaking and smiled at Kim Young-chul. This smile is hard to describe in one word. It's so mischievous. Do you understand? Kim Young-chul is like a puppy. I was about to obey. Okay, he smiled happily. And then he put a pile of money in front of Kim Young-chul. The class 1 teach has top 1 students. So from next month the school will start giving you an extra allowance. This is just a small reward. He looked at Kim Young-chul. Gave a devilish smile. Just enjoy it. Until Kim Hyun-sung graduates and even after that. I will continue to support you, little brother, as a partner of our school. Kim Young-chul looked at the pile of money. His eyes lit up. Yes, sir, just let me worry. I knew right away that Kim Hyun-sung would become my golden ticket. A ticket so expensive that it couldn't be compared. With Young Minho, the iron door slowly opened. Kim Young-chul was walking behind Kim Hyun-sung. Then, our top sir, what is it again this time? Just tell me whatever you want. I'm willing to help. Kim Hyun-sung coldly asked him. Teacher, do you know what golden crickle is? Was asked unexpectedly, so he was a bit confused. Golden crickle. Kim Hyun-sung saw his expression and immediately understood. It seems like this old man really doesn't know. You kindly said, I will tell you about the golden crickle, so listen carefully. You are also in this circle. Kim Young-chul was surprised. What are you? You quickly ignored his nonsense. There is an organization called Golden Crickle. Then your speech started. After a while Kim Young-chul finished. Said in short, if anything happened to me, the teacher would follow me. He smiled widely, his tail wagging like a dog. I already considered your fate as my own. So now I have to do it. What is this? Kim Hyun-sung's face was dark. His mouth hung with a devious smile. No. Kim Hyun-sung smiled and said seriously. There is only one thing I want and will always want. Ignore it. Kim Hyun-sung said as he glanced at Kim Young-chul's surprised face. An adult ignores everything, no matter what happens. Just close your eyes and ignore it as if it didn't happen. Nothing. That's enough. He didn't explain anything further but just coldly said, prepare yourself first. Looking at Kim Hyun-sung's back walking away, a feeling arose in Kim Young-chul's heart. Feeling uneasy. At that moment Kim Young-chul realized that this phrase, anything, cannot be taken lightly. In another place, a young man with dark skin, white hair, was beaten to a pulp. Unrecognizable, lying flat on the ground. I'm warning you for the last time. Young Min-ho angrily put his jacket back on and threatened the guy on the ground. If you fail again, just prepare yourself. His legs were chopped into pieces. The person lying on the ground trembled and replied, okay, said. Then Young Min-ho turned around and walked away. Remember, this is your last chance. That guy after Young Min-ho left. His face became ferocious, and the dog Kim Hyun-sung was unwilling. After being beaten to a pulp by Young Min-ho, he sat on the stairs angrily listening to his juniors say, Yoon Min, just go beat that bastard. Once class is over the teacher won't care what happens. I think if I break one of his legs he'll give up. Shin Yoon-min threw away his half-smoked cigarettes aside. We only have one chance to act. But if we do it outside of school, we'll have to ask Myung-jin's company to get involved. And at that point, we'll have no chance. Where? He said his plan in an angry tone. Let's make the most of the fact that we're still students. We're only allowed to succeed. We have to make Kim Hyun-sung feel it won't be safe as long as it's within the boundaries of the school where Myung-jin company can't reach. Another guy, upon hearing this plan, immediately spoke up. Park Min-chul's gang also did the same thing. Then we're all kicked out. Shin Yoon-min raised her face. Yes, that's the real problem. From the crowd, Bae Song-ho, top 152 with the monster nickname Gorilla, raised his hand to speak. Senior, can we suggest this? Shin Yoon-min looked at him and nodded and said. Bae Song-ho cleared his throat and said his plan. Let's not solve the case so quickly, but try to create as many scandals involving Kim Hyun-sung as possible. Heard this plan, everyone seemed to agree. We all know that the principal has a performance problem. He's crazy. It's easy to punish 1 or 2 people. But does he have enough shame to punish 30 students? After hearing this, Yoon-min also made his own inference. Because he wouldn't do anything out of line. Because that would mean affecting the school's bad reputation. Good idea. After the smile, Yoon-min smiled happily. The plan began to be implemented. A few days later, Kim Hyun-sung started to feel something strange during lunch break. Hyun-sung slowly walked down the hallway. Everyone around was noisy and bustling. Suddenly a crazy guy passed by and leaned close to his ear and spoke. The guy. He immediately understood. Were you planning on starting like this? The other guy finished speaking, then walked over to the group of waiting friends and laughed with excitement. Did you really call? Really? Now it's your turn. Kim Hyun-sung looked at those retards speechlessly. Okay, that's good. Keep going. This time it was a guy wearing a blue shirt running towards him. That idiot was running and calling out to him. Hey Hyun-sung, you idiot. In Hyun-sung's mind right now, these guys are not worth worrying about. Then your lives will be ruined. You won't be worth even a few coins. That idiot saw that you didn't react. So he proudly rushed over and hit Hyun-sung on the head. Where are you going? That guy. He kept cursing. It's true, that's all your brain is. Crashing into someone else without even knowing how to apologize. The guy in the yellow shirt came from behind and also greeted and joined in the fun. Hey, are you deaf? This guy must be mentally retarded. His eyes are under his eyes. But if you bump into someone, you have to apologize. You hear me? Hyun-sung smirked. Is that all? The other guy angrily approached and asked, what do you say? But I don't have time to wait and say at the end of the sentence. Hyun-sung quickly interacted with the other guy directly into his avatar. Before the other two guys could react, Hyun-sung rushed forward and made a few basic zigzags, taking him down one by one. The face of one of them was grabbed and pulled by Hyun-sung. His face seemed to be completely peeled off, and the whole group of idiots were beaten by Hyun-sung until their parents didn't recognize them. They probably didn't even acknowledge them anymore. The guy in the white shirt was holding his bloody face and kneeling on the ground, shaking non-stop. It wasn't like this when we discussed it before. Of course it wasn't the same. Stupid calculations never fail. Hyun-sung walked up to the guy, that white shirt, called him to raise his head, then gave him another piece of promotional merchandise, which was a knockout blow. The other guy was kicked out. Hyun-sung looked at him, then kindly advised and told him, your big brother. The image of Hyun-sung in his eyes right now is truly like a demon. If he's a bitch, stop trying to be scheming. There are so many juniors. Bring 'em all out here. A moment later, a group of people led by Bae Song-ho opened Hyun-sung's classroom door. Hung, tiger, tiger. He looked into the classroom. His mind was constantly thinking. Out of line compared to the original plan was. The first years were just enough to scratch this guy's itch. So now I have to rush to the council with another 7 kids. Bae Song-ho slowly walked towards Hyun-sung. He was studying attentively. He put his hands in his pockets and majestically walked over and asked in a serious voice. Are you Kim Hyun-sung? Hyun-sung knew full well why he was here. So he stood up. Is it okay to fight here? Where is the senior? He approached Bae Song-ho and gave suggestions with interested eyes. Why don't we go to a more suitable place? Somewhere the teacher doesn't know. Complied. You mean, those guys moved with you to negotiate? Hyun-sung closed his eyes and thought. When he was living in a vegetative state, plotting to destroy them, he remembered what he had done. Imagined before, he was just delusional, because reality is always different from imagination. He once imagined himself killing all the people he hated in the most cruel way. However, now he feels a bit worried. The path outlined is very good, but I'm still not sure if it can really succeed. A person can do everything he wants in his imagination. You imagined that you would step on yourself, like the enemy under his feet. Hyun-sung, stop. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But even if he wasn't sure if he could do it, he silently resolved. From now on the odds of my successful revenge will be determined by fighting Shin Yun-min. If I can't overcome this, then I have to pay the price. He looked at Bae Song-ho and the others and spoke up. Provocative. That's all you guys can do. When those guys heard that, they laughed contemptuously. You're looking down on us too much. Bae Song-ho showed his dirty expression, then threatened. Hyun-sung, you son of a bitch. You better know your way around and go back. To be exact, you're the one who's going out of line. You ignore the hierarchy, brashly attack our seniors. Don't let he finished his sentence. Hyun-sung spit on his words, surprising him, reducing shit. Hyun-sung expressed his own attitude, wasting time beating around the bush. Let's get to the point. I understand why you have to keep teasing me. The reason is that nonsense won't save your retarded plan. He pointed upward to where the other students were sobbing. I'm curious again. Have you seen the girls up there looking at us? You're probably feeling embarrassed for bringing a bunch of hands and feet like that, just to deal with one guy. Right? He said provocatively. Encouragement. Each of you come up here one-on-one. Bae Song-ho, you can go first if you want. Or you can wait your turn to get your head blown open like an idiot. He looked at the retarded group in front of him and smiled contemptuously. What? Are you scared? Bae Song-ho and the others saw this and shouted angrily. This son of a bitch. He's crazy. An idiot took a step forward. He is Kim Chang-hyun. High school, Chinul School, nicknamed the Devil. He arrogantly rushed up to attack Hyun-sung. All he needed was me. He jumped up with force, pointing his fist at Hyun-sung. No one else was needed. No, the essence of the power that comes from this school is purity. The place called school where children gather. When pure power is extremely important. You remember going back to previous battles. I used to recklessly defeat strong people. But the cowardly strategies I used to win also affected how people judged me. They would think, if he didn't use a belt or chair as a weapon. His match with Yun-min was clear in his mind. Or if he didn't attack suddenly when the opponent was unprepared. If there were no plans. According to that villain's book, he's not strong at all. And those assessments make him really unhappy. In order for the plan to succeed, I have to change their assessment. Look at the opponent first. His face was constantly thinking, I can only succeed when everything is perfectly prepared in this school. He spoke again to provoke. Why, are you afraid? Kim Hyun-sung has an ambition in his heart extremely large. The Bright Prospects High School location became a hanging palace. A world of my own, where the golden crickle could not reach. His eyes turned cold. I needed to prevail, island so that no one dares to doubt him anymore. That Kim Chang-hyun got angry. Blue veins appeared on his face when Kim Hyun was evenly encouraged. One-on-one. Okay, but you remember. He shouted arrogantly and jumped up. Once I stepped up, he arrogantly announced, there will be no one else next. He punched once and then turned around triumphantly. The blow just now was painful. He must have been lying flat on the floor by now. But when he turned back his eyes became scared and surprised. He looked at Hyun-sung with unbelievable eyes. This brat. He used his hands to block the attack so quickly. Kim Chang-hyun rushed to attack again. So try blocking this. You arrogant bastard. He hit hard, but Hyun-sung easily dodged. Without even looking, he angrily cursed. Damn. Hyun-sung had been defending like this, as if finding an opportunity. The corner of his mouth curled into a smile. Cunning. You straightened up and hit his profile picture hard. One of your blows made him unable to resist and collapsed on the spot. Above, a familiar face pale with fear. When he saw the scene below, that crazy guy, he knocked him out with just one blow. Only then did the other guy realize. So the last time he defeated me was not a fluke. Luckily, he suddenly felt a little worried. At this point he knew he was scared. I better not cause trouble with him anymore. Why am I thinking about fighting that crazy dog? Right now, I shouldn't have gotten involved in this from the beginning. Suddenly a slender hand came from behind. Tapping on his shoulder. He was worried about being disturbed and immediately got angry and shouted. What the hell? What? That guy. But to his surprise, what greeted him was a punch in the air. A young man with familiar blonde hair appeared. A threatening voice called out to that guy. Hey. Kim Si-woo appeared behind him with a burning passion for revenge. Don't we also have something to deal with? A few minutes ago Kim Si-woo went to see Kim Hyun-sung. Kim Si-woo looked at Hyun-sung worriedly. You are thinking about something, right? I will help you and we will live and die together. But Hyun-sung did not agree with Kim Si-woo's request. You promised me not getting involved in unnecessary fights. But Kim Si-woo still doesn't give up. What are you saying? So do you intend to fight them alone? Hyun-sung immediately replied despite Kim Si-woo's objections. Yes. Hyun-sung turned back with a softer voice. I know what you're worried about. But you can't change anything if you intervene. If you rely on it, they will take advantage of it. The advantage of having so many people right away. Kim Si-woo is still very dissatisfied. But it's clear that this is unfair. Of course this is still within Kim Hyun-sung's plan. I know, but it still has to be done because there's no one else left. Someone else will do this for us. Kim Hyun-sung turned to look at Kim Si-woo. If you really want to help me then there's something else you can do. Prove that I'm not alone. Kim Si-woo looked a little confused at Hyun-sung. How? Kim Hyun-sung said faintly. Park Jinwoo. Take revenge on him. And now he is proving it. Park Jinwoo is angry. Shouted loudly. Are you crazy? Or are you arrogant because Kim Hyun-sung is on your side? Come on you bastard. I beat you. Kim Si-woo's unchanging face had successfully angered Park Jinwoo. He rushed to attack. Okay, then I'd rather be expelled than let you live and die. But now Kim Si-woo has unlike before. He just gently kicked him in the chest, making him turn pale, and he was backed up a distance in surprise. What the hell? Was I pushed back? He angrily looked at the glaring eyes, the words of the people standing outside watching a good show. Damn, it's humiliating. He cursed. You trash bastard. I will kill you. But at a glance you can see the difference in strength. Every attack he threw was easily dodged by Kim Si-woo. Suddenly his eyes widened as if he discovered something. He rushed forward. The opportunity had come. But I don't understand where the opportunity is. He just rushed forward, was knocked down by Kim Si-woo with one kick. He lowered his body and lifted his legs high in a powerful blow from above. A beautiful downward kick that made him lie flat on the ground. Below Hyun-sung, he continuously knocked him down one by one. Until now Bae Song-ho realized Kim Hyun-sung's intentions. This bastard is really smart. Bae Song-ho looked at his juniors lying down. Lying on the ground. He had planned doing this from the beginning. I just wanted to use the majority to beat him. But the students above looked at the scene on the ground in fear and surprise with Kim Hyun-sung. Already the fourth person, Kim Hyun-sung will really defeat all the second-year stars. Bae Song-ho kept thinking, but if I do that even I will get a position in the Golden Crickle. At Bright Prospects High School after senior Shin Yoon-min graduated. There was still no one to pay her recognizing me. He thought angrily, but defeating him after he was exhausted would be the same. If I wanted to be recognized, I had to join the fight right now. After thinking about it, he spoke up and stopped. Again, that's enough. I'll deal with him myself. Hearing that, Kim Hyun-sung immediately let go of his hand. Looking interested, Bae Song-ho started the match with a speech in proper form. Really honestly, I don't have any personal problems with you all. But seeing you beat each guy yourself like that is really cool. Kim Hyun-sung looked at him and smiled. I can do this because you guys are nothing. This sentence directly made him angry and jumped up and punched Hyun-sung straight in the face. But he didn't even bother to dodge. He picked up Bae Song-ho's other blow and then retaliated and punched him in the face. Bae Song-ho rushed up and punched Hyun in the face another shot. But he still didn't dodge, but instead showed a strange smile, making Bae's confused. Why was he laughing? The more he hit, the more confusing it became. He didn't bother to block or dodge much. My punch. This bastard maybe. The same tit-for-tat punches were thrown one after another, with more and more strength. Did he want to continue fighting directly with me? He was surprised and punched Hyun-sung. The weight difference was nothing. What's wrong with him? A way to fight. Keep fighting. Fighting again, making him so bored that he gets mad. Until when? Until when? Hyun-sung's face, the more he fought, the more fun it became. Like he was joking. But then a strong punch hit him directly in the face. He covered his small bloody mouth and trembled in fear. Hyun-sung, without stopping, he roughly grabbed Bae Song-ho's hair. He punched him in the face continuously and frantically. Laughter and screams mixed together in a very stimulating way. Bae Song-ho was officially beaten to the ground by Hyun-sung. Lying on the ground, the juniors saw this and were immediately scared, unable to control their legs and backed away. Hyun-sung wiped the blood and sweat the smell on his face, then looked towards the group of people. Hey, stop shivering there. Go find Shin Yoon-min. Shin Yoon-min was sitting in the classroom mumbling incessantly. Crazy guy. Even though he understood the situation, he still chose to follow the second years. The classroom door was suddenly opened hastily. The young man rushed in to tell the news. Yoon-min, Bae Song-ho and I lost. It's all over. Yoon-min crossed his arms over his chest and raised his eyebrows to look at the young man who came to report the news. Really? How many people were defeated by that guy? The young man opened his hands and counted. 3 first years and 6 years. 2. So a total of 9 guys. Shin Yoon-min interrupted. That's enough. He's excited because his plan will probably succeed. Let's continue with our plan. Even though the principal and Mr. Kim Young-chul are all trash. But we're still in their school. We can't cover up the incident where 9 students were hit in the head. And then a student ran into the teacher's room in a hurry. Teacher, there's a big problem. The students are fighting outside. He's screaming loudly in the staff room. That crazy freshman Kim Hyun-sung is assaulting the second years. Now it's a big deal. Those students are now covered in blood in the hall. We have to call the police. Another guy also picked up the phone to call the police. This is Daesun Police Station. Yes, I'm calling from Bright Prospects High School. Another guy called but also looked scared and cried. I'm telling the truth. The students will die. Shin Yoon-min laughed proudly. They won't let it go easily this. If we make the same accusations, and even if they ignore it, it doesn't matter. We'll do this again, and see how long they can last. A mysterious call came in. Oh Dae-hwan quickly picked up. Yes, I am the principal of Bright Prospects High School. Oh Dae-hwan. Yes, the police chief. Before today's incident happened, the school's teachers had a meeting. During the meeting, Kim Young-chul asked everyone, had anyone ever heard of Golden Crickle? The teachers were confused after hearing it. They almost didn't know. To Golden Crickle. Golden Crickle what? A new group of gangsters. At this time Kim Young-chul spoke up to introduce. It is an organization that uses school violence as a form of business. They do it for money, harassing the students. Kim Young-chul seriously passed this information from Hyun-sung to the teachers here, asking their leader to designate a target. The bullies will continuously harass you. Well, maybe people will think this has nothing to do with Jinwoo High School. However, the recent incident that happened with Park Min-chul's gang is closely related to Golden Crickle. The teachers hearing that, the other teacher became curious. Could it be that Park Min-chul's gang also belongs to the Golden Crickle Moon? Kim Young-chul immediately agreed. Well, maybe something like that. But after hearing that, the other teachers immediately started talking. Everyone had a look of surprise, confusion and worry on their faces. How could this happen? Did I misunderstand something? So they took money for it. Are they children? It can't be. Kim Young-chul did it again, speak up again to break this tense atmosphere. Everyone must be very confused. Because perhaps everyone has accidentally been involved in Golden Crickle and everyone's teacher career will follow suit. Ended immediately. He cleverly manipulated everyone's psychology. But there is one thing I'm sure of. That is, now we are in the same boat. He can easily list familiar names related to Golden Crickle. Park Min-chul, Young Min-ho, Cho Yong-taek, Kang Chang-suk. Include not only them but also Bae Song-ho and Shin Yoon-min. Dozens of students at the school Jinwoo. We all go back to the Golden Crickle. What do you think if this matter comes to light? Kim Young-chul slammed his hand on the table and stood up to speak loudly. It's not just a matter of involving a few people. It's not just the people involved. But the entire Jinwoo High School will be destroyed. At this time you also stated your reason for organizing this meeting. I organized this meeting. Kim Young-chul made his request. To ask the teachers not to sympathize with those kids. No matter what happens, everyone can stay out of the way to continue with their daily lives. He guarded hand on the table with a serious look. We don't know anything about this. Please don't leave any evidence that shows involvement with the Golden Crickle, as if you were unintentionally pretending to be a teacher. Model teacher or something. A teacher heard that and was a bit confused. Wait a minute, I'm not sure what this is. But as a teacher I can't stand by and watch these violent incidents happen. Out. But Kim Young-chul quickly interrupted. He threatened. Are you planning to go to war with Golden Crickle? Kim Young-chul quickly analyzed for him. What will you do if Golden Crickle appoints you if you are a target and are accidentally dragged into this matter? Then you will have to bear all the responsibility yourself. So don't sympathize or fight with Golden Crickle at all. Those words seem to have struck straight into the spirit of Golden Crickle. Everyone, nothing happened at Jinwoo High School. So in reality, when Shin Yoon-min's juniors came to report, the teachers ignored them. Hey, juniors don't have anything. Nothing happened. Why do you need to make such a fuss? Stop talking nonsense and go away. Even the guy who called earlier and cried didn't have any effect. And he was yelled at back. You don't know that nowadays, if you call and harass the police, you will be held responsible before the law. I'll just let it go this time. That guy still stubbornly talks about it. What? People are really about to die. But his response was a cold hang-up. When Shin Yoon-min heard the announcement from his juniors, he immediately got angry. These bastards still call themselves teachers. Isn't anyone going to do anything? He was angry. Blue veins appeared on his face. They were definitely pretending to be stupid on purpose. Because they didn't want to get caught up in this. What about the cops? Calling to harass them. Adults have the right to behave. Is that so irresponsible? He boldly walked forward, silently cursing. They're planning to keep it that way. Right, then let's get rid of the consequences. He silently resolved that he would tear apart that bastard. Kim Hyun-sung, with his own hands. Suddenly the phone in his pocket vibrated. As soon as he picked up the phone, an angry voice shouted, "Who is Kim Hyun-sung? Did you cause trouble with that kid? Don't touch even a single button of his shirt. Otherwise we'll be done for." The phone still rang with reproaches. In Shin Yoon-min's surprise, loan sharks had just invaded the house. If you don't want to see your father die, don't do anything foolish. Yoon-min looked at the phone angrily. Damn, what is Kim Hyun-sung now? This old fox. On the other end of the line came a strange, despicable voice. That voice startled Yoon-min. It's Yoon-min, I'm Go Chang-beom. When he heard this name, he trembled and put the phone to his ear. From this point on, listen clearly. Soon, red tape will be put on your house. That's what your father has been trying to prevent in vain. What should I do? But even so, your debt is still there. Go Chang-byom leisurely said threats. That debt will be transferred to you. Giving up your inheritance. Do you think you'll care about that by loan sharking? In short, your life it's over. Shin Yoon-min is completely caught up in the negativity and fear that Chang-byom creates. Of course, it's not like you have no way to live. If you want to continue living, let Hyun-sung beat you like a bitch. Bitch, the important thing is not to let people find out that you intentionally got beaten. What do you think? Can you do it? Shin Yoon-min, who had been silent for a while, immediately objected when she heard that request. Isn't that too cowardly? Go Chang-byom immediately burst out laughing when he heard that. Coward, this guy is so stupid. There is no such thing as cowardice in fighting. It's all about winning. Go Chang-byom said seriously. Remember carefully, I don't say empty words. After that conversation, Shin Yoon-min went to Kim Hyun-sung. Kim Hyun-sung looked at him expectantly. You're here. The students above saw his appearance and were surprised. Couldn't help but shout, it's Shin Yoon-min. Shin Yoon-min is here. Kim Hyun-sung looked at Shin Yoon-min with provocative eyes. What are you doing? Get in there. He angrily shouted. You. But then Go Chang-byom's voice rang in his head. Just wait and see what I will do if don't you dare hurt Hyun-sung's face. He rushed up and shouted. You bastard. He rushed up and wanted to fight him directly. But he was surprised when Kim Hyun-sung just stood there, not paying attention, moved to dodge the attack. He didn't. He immediately adjusted his posture to make the punch deflect. At this point Kim Hyun-sung had confirmed what he wanted to know. So you received the phone call. Then, Kim Hyun-sung therefore fought back much more comfortably. You grabbed his silver hair and questioned. What exactly did he say? He wanted you to let him know. I won, but he just glared at you and didn't protest. So you punched him in the face again. Why did you keep avoiding like last time? You let go of your hand and took a defensive stance. Provoking Shin Yoon-min, only do one thing at a time. Just one thing, kneel like an idiot, or sacrifice your life to keep your honor. You have to choose. Kim Hyun-sung rushed up and punched him in the face, wanting to trigger his anger. And exactly as he wanted, he gradually became angry. You son of a bitch. And without listening to what Go Chang-byom threatened, he immediately rushed to attack Kim Hyun-sung. To be honest, I already predicted that Shin Yoon-min would explode. He continued to attack Kim Hyun-sung. Fatal blows to his body, but were all blocked by him. If there were no audience there, Shin Yoon-min would have been able to restrain himself. But for a hot-blooded 19-year-old young man, he can no longer maintain reason in the eyes of so many people. Shin Yoon-min got mad and attacked him, then shouted, damn it, it's all or nothing, I'll give up my life to kill you. But no matter what the attack was, it was easily blocked by Kim Hyun-sung. Shin Yoon-min has participated in several amateur tournaments. And thanks to that, I can easily watch through his competition videos. He already knew his weaknesses, so defeating him was only a matter of time. And analyzing the movements of Shin Yoon-min and Young Do-chol, Kim Hyun-sung has found a few peculiarities. Yoon-min clenched his hands into fists. That bastard, Kim Hyun-sung, quickly saw his loophole. I can see the first peculiarity. You punched him with all your force and directly hit his face, exposing your angry face. He wanted to attack again. I could see through everything. You quickly blocked it, right with the left punch. And then he lunged forward again, punching him in the face. Shin Yoon-min has a habit of lowering his guard around this time. You watch his leg movements to predict his next attack. The second special thing is to take a big step when he is about to deliver the finishing blow. Just as Kim Hyun-sung rushes to attack again, he wants to put all his strength into the attack. And this is also the time to counterattack. Kim Hyun-sung rushes to finish. This is the perfect time to counterattack. And then one punch knocks out the opponent. Shin Yoon-min gets one punch. His voice made him stagger back. He fell straight to the ground. His head was pounding, but the screams around him also became vague. Suddenly a pair of legs crossed over his body, causing him to wake up. Kim Hyun-sung grabbed his arm. This position was exactly like you wanted to break his arm. He screamed in panic. It was impossible. He screamed and begged Kim Hyun-sung, please stop, but there is no forgiveness here. His arm was directly broken by Kim Hyun-sung, along with a failed scream. The other guys looked at him with scared faces. A perfect victory. Left Shin Yun-min writhing on the ground. Kim Hyun-sung turned his back and walked straight out of the way, and then these things hid the change in others' perception of him. With him, Kim Hyun-sung has completely proven himself to the other students. In the principal's office he was happily on the phone. Yes, thank you, Sheriff. We will visit you soon. Of course. He opened the window and looked down. That's something you're looking forward to. Yoon-min was walking down the hallway when she suddenly received a call. On a late afternoon, a blood-red sunset shining through the glass window. A man gently lit a cigarette and asked the person in front of him, "Do you know who I am?" The man in front smiled, but still looked a little nervously at the man in front of him. Of course he wasn't Go Chang. Beom from Myeongjin Construction Corporation. What are you doing at this small financial company? Chang Beom silently dosed. I'm thinking of putting your name on a few small projects that we recently. He was working. When he heard that, he was confused. Sorry, that means. He felt like he had a flag in his stomach. This is my opportunity. Countless things will become possible in Daesun if we have a little interaction with Myeongjin Group. But nothing is free, he said timidly. What do you want from us? Chang Beom slowly pulled out his chair. It's simple. He sat on the chair and said his conditions. Just give me a contract. The name is probably Shin Min-suk. With just that you will have a relationship with us. When receiving the phone call over here, there was a series of curses. What did you do outside? This bastard. Shin Yun-min asked harshly in confusion. This bastard. Having finished solving Shin Yun-min's matter, Kim Hyun-sung leisurely walked inside. As soon as he opened the door, Kim Si-woo worriedly asked, "Are you okay?" Kim Hyun-sung did not answer. He spoke directly, asked, "What about you?" Looking at Se-woo's form, "I can guess. Of course I succeeded." Kim Hyun-sung felt relieved when he heard that. "Well, it must not be easy. Kim Si-woo still very worried about what you did today. So what should you do now? Too many people have witnessed it. You defeated Shin Yun-min, which is good. But at the level of breaking people's arms. Well, Kim Hyun-sung was not worried at all but just smiled faintly. There was nothing to worry about. Kim Hyun-sung continued. The most important thing is when will these cases be considered serious issues? Right, no. Kim Si-woo heard this sentence and was confused. What? Kim Hyun-sung turned his eyes away and said with a deep meaning. Do you know what I just realized after gradually becoming trash? Trash like Min Chul's gang. He looked at Kim Young-chul's back and said meaningfully, "That's God not on the side of the weak." Of course he also heard it. He was angry but he didn't dare to say it. Damn it, that crazy bastard Kim Hyun-sung. How can he clean up a battlefield like this? Looking at Shin Yun-min on the ground. He's bored. He accidentally threw a javelin and now he can't get it back anymore. I can't keep being a witness anymore. Shin Yun-min hugged her broken arm and asked for help from Kim Young-chul. Teacher, please take me to the hospital. Are you listening to me? Kim Young-chul is still in trouble right now. Now the only thing to do is let Kim Hyun-sung graduate in peace. Or I won't be able to live in peace for the rest of my life. He used the expression looked at Shin Yun-min with disdain. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Shin Yun-min, you didn't break your arm because of a fight with Kim Hyun-sung. But you broke your arm because you were hanging out with friends when suddenly fell down the stairs. He looked at the people lying on the ground. Not only him but if anyone in this group dared to utter the name Kim Hyun-sung once at the hospital. I don't want to cover up what you've been doing for a long time anymore. It's clear that if you don't want to destroy Kim Hyun-sung, don't expect your life to be safe. There's a high possibility that only you will suffer. Hearing those careless words, Shin Yun-min immediately screamed. You still dare to call yourself a teacher like that? No matter what, you are still a teacher. A teacher, damn. In a situation like this you should have put the safety of your students as your top priority. He was a little annoyed and pressed closer to Shin Yun-min's face and said word by word. Listen, you brat, trash of society, you used the same method before to cover up your past mistakes. Yun-min heard that and immediately objected. Because you never taught me properly when it was clear that I was helping you. He put his hand on his shoulder and squeezed the wound hard, making him scream. Lost my voice. I've been like that for a long time now, remember this. Don't forget. Kim Young-chul threatened. After all he is just a kid. I don't care about the others. But as for you, You are not allowed forget. I said it can be done. Over here young Minho is being punished. He is wet. He is locked in arms by two tall men. A man is standing in front of him seeing him awake. He said, I'm awake, so let's continue go. Young Minho was scared and begged. Please give me one more chance. Even if I have to skewer him, I will definitely succeed. The other man heard that and immediately shouted. Voice, don't you know what the most basic rules of this industry are? He explained, our job is to satisfy customers by turning school violence into something natural. Naturally available. If one day, you go out of bounds world allows and uses confidential customer information to compromise. Then if you can bear the consequences. He questioned him sternly with an angry tone. Why do you think we continue? What is the point of continuing to maintain this relationship? Keeping it a secret and maintaining a perfect success rate is how the golden crickle works. He got angry and rushed to kick young Minho hard. So what nonsense are you doing? Young Minho was kicked so hard that he couldn't even breathe. He stood there muttering the name Kim Hyun-sung in his mouth and exclaimed. It seemed like that kid was not an easy target. After eating, he struggled to survive, but in the end, he smiled triumphantly. In the end he was still just a frog sitting at the bottom of the well. The voice of the man from a while ago is by Young Chan-soo, Golden Crickle Seoul region representative. Left a week later, there was a strange number texting Shin Yoon-min. You were discharged from the hospital today. Right, I'll only ask once. Tell me who ordered you. Who is that? I won't deal with you anymore. Shin Yoon-min gritted her teeth and said viciously. I don't even know how to ask. But how did he know that I was discharged from the hospital? Read the message more carefully. He became even more confused. And even stop, that's it. Does that mean that guy can only do this much? Thinking for a while he sat on the bus with anger. Damn, what should I do now? Let's just go home first, already calculated. Yoon-min was scrolling through her phone and cursing. And to this bastard Kang Tae-gu. He thought sending just one text message was enough. If you really want to punish your father, then do it. Let's go see. No one can crow about it. He got out of the car and slowly walked into the small alley leading to his house. Damn it, Kim Hyun-sung and Kang Tae-gu. Both of them are like thorns in the side. Let's just go home and get some sleep. When they text me back, I'll think later. Yoon-min reached out and grabbed the door handle, hoping that bastard wasn't home. But when he opened the door, he exclaimed in surprise, why is the house so dirty? From inside the house, a sound of hurried footsteps ran out. Shin Yoon-min's father rushed out, holding a bottle of wine, and hit him straight and screamed. The dog's mother. Yoon-min blocked the attack in the wilderness. Mang, what's wrong with our house? He kneeled helplessly on the ground. I told you to never lay a finger on that kid named Kim Hyun-sung. I told you that if you do that, our family will be at peace. With tears streaming down his face, he raised his face to look at his son. But you destroyed everything, even if you have to live a life of being a slave. You should know the way and not enter into the forbidden. He shouted with all his resentment. The house you live in and the food in the refrigerator, you think all of that is free. Even though I don't fulfill my duties as a person father in this house. I'm still trying my best every day. And yet, you've destroyed everything. Yoon-min looked at her father kneeling on the ground. His eyes avoiding dare to look straight. Our whole family is ruined. Completely ruined, just because of you. Yoon-min couldn't believe his ears. He continuously refused to receive information. No, this. He stepped back in confusion. No. He kicked the drunk guy from earlier and fell to the ground. At that moment his phone suddenly lit up. A series of numbers that were both strange and familiar appeared on the screen. After that call, Shin Yoon-min is now kneeling in front of Kim Hyun-sung. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have accepted any job, none of the golden crickle. Who would have thought that I would become someone who crossed the line? He crouched down looking very nervous. If possible, I would also like to tell you the identity of the person in charge. I took revenge for you a long time ago. I really don't know who is behind it. He humbly knelt at Kim Hyun-sung's feet. Even his representative only sent me a text message. Finished writing, then disappeared. I beg you, please forgive me just this once. You can just send me as your subordinate. Just forgive me this time. Please. But in response was Kim Hyun-sung's indifferent attitude. Why? He raised his tear-stained face to look at Kim Hyun-sung. You looked at him with eyes like looking at an insect. Why am I have to forgive you? You also said it directly. Clearly I have warned you again and again, never to touch a hair of the person next to me. That's why you still dare to do those things with kids. It's because when you do it, you're confident that you can bear the consequences. Right? Shin Yoon-min clings to Kim Hyun-sung's leg and begs. It's because I'm so stupid. Kim Hyun-sung, I don't deny it either. I have to say you're too stupid. Only a fool would run their head into the wall like that. Kim Hyun-sung put his face close to him and said, as for not knowing who is behind it, I will trust you, because Golden Crickle would never reveal that information to a stupid mercenary like you. Kim Hyun-sung touched Shin Yoon-min's face and said, seeing you beg so hard, sir, I'll give you the last chance. Shin Yoon-min asked in surprise. Really? Kim Hyun-sung added, you endure another month. You use another month of suffering. To show off. Show your sincerity to me. Then maybe I will let you go. After hearing this, he was a little scared and stammered and asked, a month? But what do I have to endure? Are you okay? Answered and slowly stood up. You should go and think about this yourself. He gave a cunning smile. You will know soon. The next day when you go to school. The scrutiny, everyone's contempt was directed towards him. Wow, it's Shin Yoon-min. He looks better than I imagined. I wonder if he learned anything after losing to a newbie. Me, it's that I don't have the face to go to school anymore. He looked at the group of people who were saying bad things about him, making him uncomfortable. But that's okay, because you're worthy. Who says he's always arrogant because I thought I was the strongest? Saw him looking towards me. The crowd quickly dispersed. Shin Yoon-min angrily cursed in his heart. These cowardly rats. He walked to the table and grabbed his chair. Just thinking about what Kim Hyun-sung said yesterday. Could it be that this is what Kim Hyun-sung said? He was lost in thought as he looked down below. If it was another month before he took action. Down there, Han Myung-hun looked at him with hostile eyes. Is that guy crazy? He looked at Han Myung-hun's disdainful eyes and felt uncomfortable. The world is so easy for you to live in now. A loser like Han Myung-hun is staring at him like that. But he tried to suppress your anger. Yoon-min, endure it, just for a month. He suppressed it, took a spoon to scoop rice, remained silent for exactly 1 month, then graduated and entered a new life. But at this time Han Myung-hun was standing beside him. Yoon-min saw him and immediately cleared his throat. What? But before he could finish his sentence, the milk in the carton was poured all over Han Myung-hun. He angrily gritted his teeth and looked at Han Myung-hun. The dog. Han Myung-hun calmly said. Yoon-min, do you know Han Seong? Han Myung-hun looked at him happily. According to what Hyun-sung said, I have permission to do this to you. What do you think? A few days ago in class, there was a person standing on a high podium speaking. I hate Shin Yoon-min. This person said with confidence. Because of his cruel and careless nature, my peaceful school time was ruined. If I wasn't good at fighting, I wouldn't be standing here right now. Hey, that person is Hyun-sung, he announced, and that's why from now on I will punish Shin Yoon-min. Not just for this incident, but for all of her actions. He made an attractive request to everyone present in the class. In the next month, you guys want to treat Shin Yoon-min however you want. Listen, at this point, the whole class suddenly became confused. Did they do whatever they wanted with that Shin Yoon-min guy? Seeing that everyone didn't believe it and was still a bit timid, he immediately gave a suggestion. Even though they didn't, spit on his face or hit him in the back of the head. Shin Yoon-min can't resist. You look at the people below with serious eyes. Of course I don't force you. You respect everyone's right to judge. Whether to participate or not is everyone's choice. You can just ignore me. But if no one participates, your next words strike straight at the hatred. Everyone's hatred for Shin Yoon-min. Then Shin Yoon-min will live peacefully until the day he graduates. Very quietly, as if they never existed at Chinul School, he made the final statement. So those who have a grudge against him, those who will always be tormented by memories of being bullied, remember this. In this world no one will act for you. The words you say now have a basis. Especially for Han Myung-hun, who has always been bullied by Shin Yoon-min for the past 3 years. Han's story, Myung-hun, is a typical example. He was always bullied as soon as he met Shin Yoon-min. Indeed, Han Myung-hun's school life is very miserable. Just a toy in a series of boring school days. Even if it is damaged, it doesn't matter. Han Myung-hun has been insulted by Shin Yoon-min many times. Hey, are you crying? Smile. Idiot. Like that. Those signs memories from the past kept repeating in his head. While waiting for graduation, Han Myung-hun had many questions in his mind. His questions were so naive. Will Shin Yoon-min remember me after we graduate? Will he feel sorry even once? But with Shin Yoon-min's personality, the fact that he remembers the toy is impossible. No, Han Myung-hun's existence will disappear from his memory. Shin Yoon-min will never realize his mistake. And from now on Han Myung-hun has agreed he wanted to participate in Kim Hyun-sung's proposal. So he believed that he had to do something to soothe his wounded heart. And right at this moment, when the milk carton spilled all over him, Shin Yoon-min, everyone can be sure of one thing. Hyun-sung was right. Han Myung-hun raised his hand to hit him. Still happy in his mind. He was still at peace like when he bullied him. A blow landed on his head. But he couldn't resist. Han Myung-hun said to him in a low voice. Why does it feel so bad? Being beaten by a loser like me. But I like it a lot. What should I do? But Han Myung-hun's actions surprised and worried some of the students. Crazy. Did he do that because he believed Kim Hyun-sung? But he really still sat still. So is it true? Han Myung-hun opened his mouth. Put all his strength into spitting a ball of saliva into Shin Yoon-min's rice tray. He is now mad. But there is nothing he can do but listen to Han Myung-hun's nagging words. Do you remember anything? This is what you once did to me. Do you remember next? Did you say anything? Han Myung-hun leaned close to his ear and whispered. Enjoy it, you son of a bitch. Thought Han Myung-hun's actions were the limit, but no. It's all just begun. Han Myung-hun is just the first shot first of all. What Han Myung-hun did was just the beginning. When Shin Yoon-min walked in the hallway, 2 students came and hit him hard on the head. Then cursed. Go away. Be nice to you bastard. The student who walked to the side even praised him. Now you're acting exactly like Shin Yoon-min. Yoon-min suppressed his anger and left, cursing continuously in his mind. Damn, those bastards hiding behind their juniors. Do they still have any honor? But he just walked a little further and was blocked. He fell to the floor, in a loud noise, laughing at the bullies. Do you remember that this used to be Shin Yoon-min's secret trick? Of course I know. Is there anyone in our class who hasn't been hit by this trick? He hasn't been like that either. Couldn't resist. Damn, it's so miserable to treat patients like that. He walked away again. This time a can of water was thrown at his head. He turned his back angrily. Damn it, now who else is this? A group of aggressive people with amused, fearless faces stared at him. His days of physical and mental torture began. You were defeated by a first-year guy, right? Breaking news. It was announced that the Shin Yoon-min server had been deactivated and all the users were celebrating. Please bear with it every day. Once your hand heals we will break your legs. Look at this bastard. It's so interesting. On the desk and around Shin Yoon-min's seat is full of trash. And terrible curses. You vile bastards. When we catch you if they bullied them, they wouldn't dare say a word. He put his face on the table to endure this insult. But you guys behave like that just because Kim Hyun-sung made this plan for you. Mom, damn. Should I turn him away? Stop the auction or something? Should I kill them all? But Kim Hyun-sung's cold eyes appeared in his mind, making him afraid, scared, but jumped up. He hypnotized himself. Just wait another month, until Kim Hyun-sung releases him. Over here Kim Hyun-sung is deep in thought. I thought that after defeating Shin Yoon-min, I would get some. You were thinking hard. Actually I didn't know who the customer was. Even the broker only left a message to end the assignment. Case and then disappeared. It seems I failed to find the customer through Shin Yoon-min. You tried to write down the names and clues you collected on paper. I tried to practice putting together the clues he had. That customer's score was probably on par with mine, and rich enough to be able to assign tasks to Golden Crickle. He glanced around to narrow the search scope. If he narrowed the number range like that, he could localize a few students. But between them he still couldn't find out who was the customer. When he went outside, what he saw was that Shin Yoon-min was being bullied and beaten. There was no need to rush. Anyway, the Golden Crickle would reappear. Until then, just focus on solving the problems at hand. Satisfied, Shin Yoon-min looked at the people passing by and asked for help. But for someone like him, his rescue won't be that easy. Kim Hyun-sung sat in class looking out the window. The guys who enjoyed beating him, along with the teachers who turned a blind eye. Now they're all in the same boat. Those trash bastards. But these things are already under your control. Well, thanks to that, things are gradually improving. After being beaten, Shin Yun-min crawled on the ground in pain. Message of Kim Hyun-sung once again appeared in the palace his phone. I have a new proposal for you. Do you want to do it? If you accept, then until graduation, there will be no more problems. The bullying will also stop. Him reading this message was like a life-saving straw. He immediately replied back to the message. I will be everything. Just say it. I will definitely not disappoint you. Kim Hyun-sung looked at the sent message and immediately smiled. Jang Mang finally responded to the message. He walked down the street. His foot stepped on a half-smoked cigarette. Damn. He looked inside the convenience store. Is he doing this? Is it right? I have another weakness. But still, it's better than having to endure being bullied for a month. He puts on a mask. Puts on a hood to hide his hair, characteristic of him. Suppressing his anger and rushing in inside. Damn, just do it. It's all or nothing. Right now inside Park Min-chul is working. Welcome. He asked this strange guest. Do you need cigarettes? Ah, I wanted to buy. But before he could finish his sentence, he was grabbed by this stranger. What was that? A strong head press directly caused him to be slammed onto the table. He looked up with a confused look. What? Robbery? Ah. But Shin Yun-min did not let him calm down, but continued to attack and punch him in the face. Yun-min aggressively grabbed Park Min-chul's collar and lifted him up. Park Min-chul vaguely saw that the person who beat him seemed familiar. And then he was shocked to realize that the person who beat him was Shin Yun-min. Park Min-chul held his wound and told his accomplices. The other guys were stunned after hearing that. Are you sure? It's really Shin Yun-min? He affirmed. There's no way I got it wrong. He can, I'm sure. Park Min-chul also added. I heard that his hand was broken by Kim Hyun-sung. He was definitely wearing a cast on his right arm under that jacket. His accomplice heard it and got angry and swore. Damn it. But they were also very confused by Shin Yun-min's actions. But why did he rob us? Just report him. But Park Min-chul was very conscious and stopped him. Do you want to die? You know, is there anyone behind him? If we denounce him, all our limbs will be cut off. Hearing that guy immediately withdrew his plan. It's true. Park Min-chul sighed. Anyway, let's just consider that we're unlucky. Forget that if we encounter him. Just ignore him and not know anything. The two accomplices heard that and agreed. Okay. But as soon as he finished speaking, behind him the familiar sound of talking sounded again. Are you all gathered here? Shin Yun-min appeared behind them. The kids running errands. Park Min-chul and the others saw him and immediately became alert. What are you doing here? Shin Yun-min said happily. There's no need to hide it. Yesterday you clearly recognized me. Min-chul heard that and boldly asked. So why did you act like that yesterday? He also spoke up to explain. I don't want to do that either. But Kim Hyun-sung already has me. But after a month he said he will stop this if I can arrange you guys. I have to make giving you guys life is worse than death. He looked at all three guys who were scared in front of him. Do you understand what that means? And before they could prepare, he rushed forward at high speed. Extremely fast speed. With a light glance he arrived in front of the group. He also very kindly apologized before acting. I'm sorry, but you guys have to go to hell instead of me. Shin Yun-min came and punched the blue-haired guy hard. He threw his fist at Park Min-chul's face. This is all your fault, you idiots. The white-shirted guy didn't want to lie still and take the fight. So he jumped up and countered. Resistance. This dog. He rushed up to attack Yun-min from the left side. Did we do something wrong? Yun-min was startled and looked at the other guy with cold eyes. What the hell are you barking at? That idiot. The guy in the white shirt immediately trembled when he saw that. He didn't even move. Yun-min spoke up angrily. Do you guys really know what you did wrong? Yun-min went to the front desk. Go ahead and knock him out. You guys have done too many things wrong. He was angry as all the anger of the past few days was on these insects. That's why I had to do this. He frantically punching the guy in the white shirt. He grabbed the guy in the white shirt's hair and growled. Now you dare to bark back at me. Have you forgotten who I am? He kneed the guy in the white shirt, making the guy in the white shirt spit blood. I'm Shin Yun-min, you bastards. Looking at the loser with a mouth full of blood lying on the ground. Yun-min felt satisfied. Responses Chang Beam's words made the other person startled and surprised. It wasn't as important as the other people's lives. The people of Myeongjin Company, including Chang Byom, bowed their heads to apologize to the family of the worker whose leg was amputated. On behalf of Myeongjin Construction Company, we sincerely apologize to the family because of the accident. Park Min-chul angrily leaned close to Yoon Min's ear. You shouldn't have gone too far. He coldly pulled out the knife and said, "You're the reason we all got beaten up. Why did you come to us?" Shin Yoon Min knelt down. He went down and hugged the stab spot. "You pigs. The wound kept bleeding. You bastards." But now he suddenly realized Kim Hyun-sung's true purpose when he came up with the plan. This plan, now I understand, the intention of Kim Hyun-sung. He collapsed on the ground from pain and blood loss. Destroying each other, he muttered in his mouth. After all, they're all equally damned. He just chooses who will be destroyed first. The next day, Shin Yoon Min's story became the talk of the whole school. What? Shin Yoon Min was stabbed? A bunch of students gathered to discuss this issue. Seriously, my friend's uncle is a police officer. Park Min-chul is a suspect. All of them have connections with. Everywhere from the classroom, the rooftop to the cafeteria. Everywhere there is talk, detaining minors. That means he will have a criminal record. Are you crazy? Detaining children, juveniles are not considered crimes. The noise is getting louder and louder. But do you know why they caused this commotion? How do I know what they think? Those words were all taken into Han Myung-hun's hands. My uncle said there was something strange. What do you mean? They all confessed, and asked to be sent to juvenile detention center as quickly as possible. Maybe, they said you wanted to get away from Daesun as quickly as possible. On the rooftop, Kim Hyun-sung was leisurely answering the phone. Like you said, Young Min-ho's family had realized there was no hope left, so they abandoned their belongings and left the village. The person on the other end of the line announced. They had completely left Daesun and moved to Gyeonggi-do. Young Min-ho was preparing for the public school entrance exam. Hyun-sung was not surprised to hear this. Of course, the child of a well-off family would be treated differently. Hyun-sung continued to talk to Go Chang Byom on the other end of the phone. He really should also be sent to the juvenile detention center. Chang Byom also freely agreed to him. If you want, I can send him there right away. But Hyun-sung seems to have another idea. No need. Where? Leave him alone. Go Chang Byom was a bit surprised when he heard that. Why? Hyun-sung explained. I wanted to give him some time so he could forget who I was. His words were filled with calculation. Until he believes that his new life will begin in a new city and a new environment. At that time his despair will grow stronger. Hyun-sung's words made Chang Byom unable to help. I'm shivering. It's been a while since I've seen you even scarier than me. Hyun-sung looked down at the south floor. From now on, send the remaining 4 people straight to jail when they expire. I don't want him to hang around in society for a moment. Go Chang Byom heard that and sighed. I never want to confront you. Chang Byom took a drag of his cigarette and said softly, by the way. Then, he seemed impatient standing at the construction site. How long will I have to stay in this place? I started working here at the lowest position for a month like you said. But nothing happened. He expressed his feelings to Hyun-sung. I'm not so patient as to start step by step, going up from the bottom. Hyun-sung remained calm when he heard his words complain. Wait a minute. Chang Byom was a bit resistant. But Hyun-sung knew his impatience. But you quickly stopped him. Mr. Go Chang Byom, just remember what I said before. It will start soon. Just like your plan. A few days later, real estate nationwide skyrocketed. This also became a hot topic on the news. Companies' construction industry is currently crying with joy. Especially the revenue of large companies is increasing rapidly. At a certain construction site. But the workers were working hard. Hey, hurry up. Yes, boss. When he finished tying the cross beams, the boss immediately signaled the other worker to step back. Go away. The worker quickly ran out. Waited for me. When the worker had left, the boss signaled the crane to pull it up. Hey, pull it up, pull it up. The tired worker sat to the side wiping his sweat. Foul. But an accident happened. The latch on the crane broke loose. Immediately the horizontal beams fell off and plummeted down. It fell. Other workers saw the man next to immediately shouted, Mr. O, above you. The worker still hadn't discovered anything. So he looked up. What was? But it was too late for him to calm down. The beams fell straight on him. The other workers looked at this scene and immediately turned pale. What do we do now? What do you mean? Call an ambulance. Quickly. But when the other workers were about to call, was stopped by a loud voice. No. The other person shouted loudly. Stop. Everyone put down their phones. The other person leisurely pulled out the phone. Wait. I will report to my superiors. Before the worker, worried about his colleagues, immediately begged. Sorry, we should at least call an ambulance. But as soon as the words left his mouth, he was rejected. Mute. What will happen if the construction there was a delay in claiming due to an accident? Will you pay for the loss? Will you pay for the loss? And then the other worker was taken to the hospital during the delay. The injured worker that day was taken to the hospital after 2 hours. Even the nearest hospital was 10 minutes. He was sent to the hospital affiliated with the company, which took an hour by road. But something more unexpected happened. Because the contact was quite late. So his son had to face Mr. Oh Jong-hyuk. The scoundrels of the construction company gave him a piece of paper to deny responsibility. The cause of the accident. The accident was due to your father's carelessness and the cost was also high. We did not ask for compensation for the loss. The company's treatment said that they would not compensate for the accident. Within at that time, the hospital room was divided into two extremes. One side was the increasingly prosperous construction company. The other side was the tragic scene of the other worker. The construction company's stock continuously reached the threshold. On the experts, Jia said it wouldn't subside for a while. And also that day, the seed of hatred was planted in his mind. That day was a day that Oh Jong-hyuk, a young man in his 20s, would never forget. Back to reality. Go Chang-byom was yawning at the construction site. Okay, good. Slowly lower down. I'm so sleepy. He put his hands in his pockets and walked slowly. Go. I want to drink. I want to go out. He sighed deeply. How much longer do I have to do this? He lit a cigarette and stood against the wall. No, I have to trust Kim Hyun-sung. He may be young, but he always has a plan. Seeing what Kim Hyun-sung did, he is even more certain. After seeing all the bullies punished just as planned of Kim Hyun-sung, he imagined the person he hated so much kneeling at his feet and begging. Brother, please, we are brothers. Please. Go Chang-byom imagined, one someday that will be Go Chang-sok's future. He threw his cigarette on the floor. That's right, I have to believe him. After he regained his composure, he planned to go out. Let's go back to work. But the loud noise outside attracted his attention. The sound sounded like something had collapsed. He frowned. What the hell was going on? A loud scream rang out outside. Damn, the floor was rustling. Hearing that, Go Chang-byom quickly ran over. The what? Where? Looking at the scene of the ruined statue before his eyes, Go Chang-byom immediately questioned the people there. What happened? A worker spoke up. I think it was an accident while pouring concrete. Chang-byom was surprised. Pouring concrete? What do you mean? Go Chang-byom pointed at the pile of rubble. How to explain? Is anyone there? The other worker stammered. Yes, we are not, probably more. But there were about 5 or 6 people. Hearing that, Chang-byom immediately got angry because this number is not a small number. What? But the other workers were still very calm. Don't worry, we will report to your superiors and take control of this place. They want to leave those unfortunate workers there. Before this incident is resolved peacefully, we will leave them in there. Chang-byom ancient book. The other guy raised his voice and said, Hey, it's such an important thing that you're planning. The other worker stammered and said, Sir, in the current situation, Chang-byom respects Kim Hyun-sung's reasoning and calculating skills. Your name, how far can you predict? To prevent this, Kim Hyun-sung once suggested, there is only one thing that he must keep in mind when working there. If there is an accident at the construction site, use the name of the eldest son of Myeongjin Company as much as possible to fix it. Don't think about losing money, but think about what's best for the injured workers. At this moment, Chang-byom picked up the worker's neck and ordered, Call 115 immediately, and call for a rescue team. But the worker was still afraid that he would be responsible. I can't let this accident be exposed to the public, them, and it will become our fault. Go Chang-byom doesn't care about that at all. Hey, is that matter as important as their lives? That worker used another excuse. It's not about who is responsible, but if the project is delayed, who will bear the loss? Go Chang-byom dropped the worker and patted him on the shoulder and said, Call 115. Worker. The other person was confused. But Chang Byom whispered. I will take responsibility for this. It's not you but me. He shouted angrily. Do you think playing with other people's lives is fun? He quickly pointed at himself. Called for rescue at Daesun and the people down there. I'll take responsibility for this. The sound of argument rang out again in the construction site. I mean, when did they get here? They said they would be here as soon as possible, as soon as they received the information. Go Chang Byom asked all the time that we can't just use our own tools to clean up. There was a pile of rubble in front of me. But the secretary quickly stopped it. No, that's too dangerous. They warned us not to act rashly no matter what happens. Let's wait until an expert comes to take a look. Let's see, Go Chang Byom said impatiently. Then tell him to come here quickly. Go Chang Byom urged the rescue team without paying attention to a worker who was looking at him with hostile eyes. Calling to them and tell them to hurry up. I will solve all the problems that arise. The pile of rubble just now suddenly had a few more pieces falling. Hey, it's collapsing again, don't you? Shouldn't stand so close. Chang Byom angrily looked at the pile of rubble. Fuck me, why did this happen? A worker came forward and said. I don't know why. Go Chang Byom asked in bewilderment. What? The other worker explained. Just take a look. The reinforcing bars had no concrete connection and were completely empty. They quickly removed the support frame before installing it. The concrete had time to dry, so the upper floor collapsed. The worker spoke his mind. If they had more time to do the construction, this kind of incident would never have happened. Go Chang Byom was surprised by the worker's analysis. But he wondered, why are you telling me this now? The worker calmly said, I wonder if you will be okay. It seems you are the eldest son of this construction company. Go Chang Byom looked at the other worker with unpleasant eyes. Do you think you can handle this case? Responses Chang Byom's words made the other person startled and surprised. It wasn't as important as the other people's lives. He looked towards the pile of rubble. Regardless of whether a problem arises or not, isn't the top priority here is to save people first? If you have time to talk about this nonsense, why don't you call 911? He said it directly. Causing trouble is only effective when caused by a group of people. In the end, the workers were all rescued safely. Everyone at the construction site had to breathe a sigh of relief. We were really lucky. Most of them only suffered minor injuries. No one was seriously injured. Really? Why? I'm relieved. Everything here has been resolved. But the media problem is the most painful. The secretary now speaks up. But there is a problem here. Go Chang Byom asked curiously. What's wrong? The secretary announced. Many articles about the accident have spread everywhere on social networks and everyone's reaction is very negative. The secretary's news made him angry. Fell into deep contemplation. It seemed like there would be more articles uploaded in the near future. Because even the last straw at the headquarters couldn't stop this spread. He simply listened after hearing it. Asked, really? Then what should we do? Why are you surprised when the secretary hears that? Go Chang Byom said again. More clearly, I'm asking you what we should do more. The secretary turned pale and looked at Go Chang Byom. Don't you have some solution? He just said, what a solution? I'm just instructing everyone there to call 911 and save people first, okay? The secretary immediately cursed in his head. Damn, what does he want me to do? Go Chang Byom's phone vibrated. A familiar phone number caught his eye. It was someone, my dear dad. Damn, it's so fast. I can't pick up the phone now. The secretary saw that and said, it seems like the president is calling you. Aren't you going to answer the phone? Go Chang Byom sighed and said, never mind. His hands tightly grasped the phone that was ringing rapidly. Damn, how long will it ring? After a while his phone stopped completely. He hung up, and then without a single unnecessary move, he immediately dialed Kim Hyun-sung right now. Hurry up. As soon as he dialed he ran away. Yeah, Hyun-sung mime. He ran away, leaving the secretary alone. Where are you running? At the company. The scolding kept ringing. Brother, are you okay? Now Chang Byom and Chang Sok is facing each other. On Chang Sok's side, his brother's mistake is an opportunity for him. Chang Sok reprimands. What were you thinking? Why did you handle something like this? Did you report it to your superiors first? Chang Sok put down the articles that were trending online on the table. He lifted his glasses and said in a responsible tone, of course human life is important. What about our company? Do you know how much we will lose if you handle things this way? He keeps attacking Chang Byom. Are you responsible? If this apartment complex doesn't sell, I mean, can you take responsibility? You may have achieved many things without thinking clearly, but business people like us must deal with these remnants. An elderly man spoke up, interrupting this conversation. You have stirred up the whole Daesan just because of this. I heard that not only 119 but people also called 112, and the press sniffed even faster. He questioned Go Chang-byom. Go Chang-byom, how are you going to handle this? Before that, Go Chang-byom had contact Hyun-sung. The president is someone who takes great pride in construction to the point that he's like a craftsman. But what would you do if an absurd safety incident like this happened? Hyun-sung gave him advice. I'm sure he will find a way to clarify everything, so just listen to what your father said. Go Chang-byom was surprised. His words, what do you say? Hyun-sung explained. Like I said, don't falter but keep moving forward. Back to the present. Chang-byom spoke up. His opinion made both Chang-sok and his father was startled. Father, please take this project down and start again from the beginning. Chang-sok immediately objected. What are you saying? The other Chang-sok questioned him. Even if he only graduated from high school, shouldn't he be able to think like a construction citizen? Do you know that most of the construction costs of the project all comes from bank loans? Isn't it? Interest rates are increasing day by day. That guy is still chattering and explaining. In order to be able to bear the current development costs, demolition costs, interest rates, billions and billions of other interest rates. Do you really think it is so necessary to do that fast just for an apartment building? Go Chang-byom immediately objected. Yes, I said that because it's just an apartment building. He based his analysis on what Chang-sok said. Like you said, we will face heavy losses. Even if I can't make complicated calculations. Sir, I understand. What we need most is reputation. He continued. You know that nowadays people talk a lot about poor quality construction projects in the media. Right, in addition to the profit and reputation of the construction company, it is also necessary to be stable. Chang-byom pointed out the things that the company is not really good at through this incident. In a situation like this, if we only complete that building has a collapsed foundation, what do you think will happen? That guy Chang-sok is still focused on profits. If someone spreads the information everywhere now, he will sell it anymore, but we won't need to spend more money to rebuild a new one. Go Chang-byom quickly refuted. Chang-sok, what we should be concerned about is not the economic loss. Thanks to his reputation for responsibly constructing projects. He was a bit angry at this point. Otherwise it would have been the result of broken trust. Chang-byom spoke about the plan. If it's just a construction project, after we honestly admit our mistakes, apologize, and show them that we're trying to perfect everything from scratch. He said seriously, we will be able to regain our reputation, even if it takes time. Innovation is the core of Myeongjin Construction Group. Chang-sok said with a smile. He is an idealist. Mind, we are businessmen. We have to consider real profits instead of ideals. But father's words interrupted his words. My eldest son. I turned around to look at Go Chang-byom with a proud expression. Finally grown up. In my previous life, these things happened once according to Kim Hyun-sung's memories. This time the accident was a little different. But it also happened in Kim Hyun-sung's past life. At that time, President Go Myung-jin revealed to the media about covering up the accident and then gave solid philosophies about construction. The president also spoke up about this at this time. He said to Chang-byom, do you know what makes me the most angry about this accident? Which is that the result of the mistake was simply a process like acting. Chang-sok trembled when he heard what his father said. That's a mistake that we should never make in the name of Myeongjin Construction Group. Home is where people live. Safety must come first. Other complicated personal preferences come later. He turned to Go Chang-byom. Chang-byom. He raised his face to look at his father. Yes, father. He kindly praised him. Good job. I thought you would live a carefree life. But not only have you grown up, but you also have very similar qualities. With me. He stood in front of the two brothers explaining the company. Myeongjin is not just a company, but it is also a family business corporation that focuses on projects above all. Let's continue, keep up the good work. Dad's words made Chang-sok mad. Then you will be able to inherit my legacy. A few days after the accident, in the hospital where the workers encountered an accident, the doctor regretfully announced that it seemed that her husband would have to have his legs amputated. Hearing that, The wife immediately hugged her face and sobbed. Oh my God, Yoon Suk. Most of the victim of the accident only suffered minor injuries. Only one person had to undergo surgery. The wife sat in a chair in despair. Brother, what should we do? We will notify the authorities. How young? The man accompanying me comforted me. Calm down. The people from Myeongjin group will be here soon. You shouldn't be so emotional. The wife has no hope with this meeting. I don't think I'll be able to talk properly with them for long. I heard that the construction company people won't handle work accidents, let alone compensation. More. The man following spoke up. Harder and harder. If we want to reclaim everything for my brother-in-law's legs then. Before he could finish his sentence, the two of them were startled by a loud call. Miss Kim, Yoon Suk. The people of Myeongjin Company, including Chang Byom, bowed their heads to apologize to the family of the worker whose leg was amputated. On behalf of Myeongjin Construction Company, we sincerely apologize to the family because of the accident. Before this, Chang Byom called to ask Kim Hyun-sung's opinion. Dad told me to continue doing what I'm doing now. But what should I do now? He made his heart clear, let me tell you. I don't want to disappoint him. This is the first time he has put his hopes on me. After listening, Kim Hyun-sung also spoke up. Let's start from handling the accident. There have been two. The first type of victims in this case are renters potential. You show him how to fix it. Just postpone the interest debt between the period of adjusting the price down. And if you promise to transparently disclose the reconstruction process, you can satisfy them immediately. The problem lies with the second group of people. Go Chang Byom heard that and was confused. Who is that? This group of people are the people who were directly hurt by the accident. Accident. Those are the people who were injured in the accident. Let's deal with it, explained their problem as sincerely as possible. Back to reality. Chang Byom sat at the negotiating table with the victim's family. This accident was completely the fault of the construction process. Dear Myeongjin, we know that this pain cannot be alleviated with money, but we will try to compensate as realistically as possible. The victim's family heard that. Also surprised. Really? Representative of the construction company Myeongjin said again. The hospitalization and treatment expenses will be paid as a work accident, and we will also compensate an additional 500 million won in cash. Incredible benefits are offered one after another, and your husband will also be assigned to a project at the cooperative headquarters with a position that requires work experience. Your husband has devoted himself to our Myeongjin company for a long time. We are extremely grateful for his contribution, though he's not here with us. But we won't turn a blind eye. When the wife heard that, the heavy rock in her heart seemed to be removed. Tears just kept flowing. Both brothers heard those conditions and were happy. Their eyes turned red and they bowed their heads to say thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Go Chang Byom sat outside on the steps, lit a cigarette, and casually thought about it. Asked, "Hey, the secretary heard your call." Quickly answered. "Yes, please just say." Chang Byom asked blankly, "What do you think construction work is?" The secretary laughed and said, "I don't know anymore. It's not just construction work." "Why are you suddenly asking?"